sides went back and forth. Brady Tkachuk scored the first goal for Team USA, tying the game at 1. His Ottawa teammate Jake Sanderson made it 2-1 U.S., but Canada tied it. It went to overtime before Connor McDavid buried the game winner to give Team Canada the 3-2 win in Boston. But don't fret, we are less than 1 year away from the first Olympic hockey game of the 2026 Winter Games in Italy. The Suns were on the road in Austin, Texas to play the Spurs. San Antonio was without Victor Wembanyama, who will miss the rest of the season with a blood clot in his shoulder. But the Spurs' newest acquisition, De'Aaron Fox, scored 26, and the Spurs beat the Suns 120-109. The Suns had their chances. Durant hit a 3 that cut the lead to 2, but the Spurs had an answer late, and they held on to hand the Suns their 4th straight loss. The Suns are now 3 games under 500. February has not been kind. The Suns have lost 7 of 8 this month. The Diamondbacks opened the Cactus League play today with the first of 2 against the Rockies at the Salt River Fields at Talking Stick. Both today and Saturday start at 1:10, and tomorrow's game is going to be on ESPN 620, the first of 9 spring training broadcasts. College basketball this weekend, BYU is at U of A Saturday, and ASU plays at Kansas State on Sunday. This report is brought to you by APS. Visit APS Solutions for Business for ways to help your business make smarter use of energy while saving money. Schedule a free consultation today.
Good morning. Time to get up and go to work.
The power-packed morning zoo. Are you kidding me?
Fire! It's the greatest radio show ever. Good morning and welcome.
Dan Bickley.
Oh my God, he's from Chicago. That's amazing.
Vince Marotta.
Oh, wait, who's better than Ben?
And Jerry Carlin.
It can only be Jerry.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Bickley and Marotta mornings. Time to go to work. Time to go to work.
Shout out to Dan Bickley, my boy. Him and Business Vince. Okay.
Good morning, Valley sports fans. Happy Friday. We've made it to the end of another long week. Well, it wasn't that long, but today is the grand finale of Newsmakers Week. Not going to want to miss a minute.
We're tying
That's
a
my
bow
story.
on it.
That's my story, and I'm sticking with it.
Yes.
So
Big lineup today.
Yeah. Do you want to run through it real quick?
Michael Bidwill, Cardinals owner, in studio. Monty Ossenford, Cardinals general manager, in studio. Jerry Colangelo, in studio. Brent Brennan, not in studio. And we'll also talk to Matt Mooney on the heels of the 2025
And Matt will
Phoenix
be in
Open
studio
Yes,
as well.
Be.
Oh,
Yes,
good. That's quite a lineup.
Good way to close
like
things
that,
out this
yeah.
week for Newsmakers 2025.
Yeah, yesterday I could not get out of my head the topic you brought out relating to basketball and the 3-point dunk. I swear I was thinking about it all day yesterday, and the more I tried to pick apart the absurdity of the idea, the more I actually liked the idea.
You want to talk about going extreme to even things out? If it went so extreme over the last decade, really, for the 3-point shot, it took 30 years for the 3-point shot to really take its hold. You could reverse it very quickly by doing that.
Now, I'm not sure a rule change like that would help the Suns because they don't dunk very often.
Yeah, I'm looking up how many.
All they do is shoot mid-range shots.
Yeah,
it'd be everything except the shots they take would be worth.
Right.
If they ever did do something like that, though, that would kill. I mean, the mid-range game is already on life support, but it would completely eliminate it. Because why would you?
I don't know. I don't know if that's accurate. I do know that there would be more attention at getting at the rim, but think about the contested shots at the rim. Think about, because now if guys know a dunk is about to happen, they back up and get out the way.
Sure.
But what I'm saying is that
because it's only worth 2 points.
Right, but that's it though. What I'm saying is that because there would be way more scoring, because now dunks are worth 3 points, you can't afford to take any kind of 2-point shot.
It's
not now. I'm saying hypothetically.
You're probably right, Jarrett.
But I think it'd be fascinating because you wouldn't breakaway dunks, all that. I don't know. I think it would bring a level of ferocity to the game because, I'm a big fan of dunks, Vinny.
You love dunks.
I do.
The Suns gave us 3 points worth of dunks last night.
Oh, boy.
So what if you got fouled on a dunk attempt? You would get 3 shots in this new rule.
Ooh. No, I don't think you do that.
I don't think you could.
No, I don't think you do that.
Fouls on threes would remain. Look, they're not going to change it.
No, it's an interesting idea.
And it doesn't matter. They could change the rules of basketball 180 degrees, and nothing will help our basketball team. Nothing.
You can go to rock and jock rules.
Nope.
The 4 and 5
Welcome
point
back
shot.
to the dark side, Vinny.
Wouldn't help.
Yeah. Last night was very, very interesting from a Chris Paul versus Kevin Durant standpoint. We'll get into that. Start the show, Jarrett.
The Splash. The stories making waves in the sports world. The Splash.
Cannonball coming.
The Splash. Brought to you by Presidential Pools, Arizona's #1 pool builder. See why at presidentialpools.com.
Suns were back on the court following their All-Star break, and, well, nothing changed while the team was away, and they fell on the road to the shorthanded San Antonio Spurs. 120-109 in Austin. Spurs pulled out to an 8-0 lead right from the get-go. A 10-point lead after one quarter. Never looked back. In fact, the Suns never held the lead during 48 minutes. They got tied once. They would get to within 2 on a couple of occasions in the fourth quarter. The last 7:29 remaining on a Devin Booker layup, but they missed 6 of their next 7 shots over the next 4.5 minutes. And you know what happened. Suns have lost 4 straight, 7 of 8. Road trip continues Saturday in Chicago against the Bulls. That game tips off at 3 o'clock Arizona time with pregame coverage rolling at 2 here on Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
I don't even know if they're going to win that game.
Does it even? No.
No,
Does it matter?
No, but you're right. You can't count on anything anymore.
Yesterday after we left.
I don't mean to laugh.
No, we left the airwaves, and I'm thinking about the game, and I'm like, I got something I gotta watch tonight. Then you look at that road trip again, and there's no reason why the Suns can't go 3-1 on this road trip.
Mm-hmm.
And then they put that out there.
I know. It's unbelievable. The coaching decisions are unbelievable. Devin Booker, his night was really bad. It's just bad, dude.
Awful news for the Spurs ahead of last night's game. It really hampered them, too. Phenom Victor Wembanyama out for the remainder of the season with deep vein thrombosis in his right shoulder. Wembanyama was listed as doubtful on the injury list heading into the game, but after returning from the All-Star game in San Francisco, a blood clot was discovered, and the treatment of blood-thinning medication will preclude Wemby from playing again this season. That last season's Rookie of the Year, averaging 24.3 points, 11 rebounds, and a league-leading 3.8 blocks per game this season. But his guys had his back in that win. Last night in the NBA, as things got back to action, Boston clubbed the 76ers 124-104. Cleveland, no problem with Brooklyn 110-97. Jarrett Allen. Shut up, Jarrett! 16 points, 20 rebounds. The Knicks went overtime to beat the Bulls 113-111 behind 32 and 18 from Karl Anthony Towns. Bucks over the Clippers 116-110. Denver smacked Charlotte 129-115. And the Lakers bounced back with a 110-102 win in Portland as LeBron scored his age and added 8 rebounds. 40 points for LeBron.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yep. The NBA slapped Milwaukee Bucks forward Bobby Portis with a 25-game suspension for violating the league's anti-drug policy. Portis' camp said the veteran took tramadol for pain-killing purposes while dealing with an elbow injury. He thought he was taking Toradol, which is approved by the league. Tramadol is not.
It's happened to all of us.
Yeah. I hate when my assistants give me the wrong painkillers.
Yeah, right.
He'll be eligible to return April 8th against the Timberwolves, meaning he'll miss both of Milwaukee's contest against the Suns. Won't really have an effect on those results, I'm sure. College basketball this weekend. ASU trying to snap a six-game skid Sunday afternoon in Manhattan against Kansas State. You can hear that game on Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app, beginning with pregame coverage at 1:30. Tomorrow, the 19th-ranked Arizona Wildcats host BYU in Tucson in a game that tips off at 6 o'clock on ESPN. Grand Canyon looking to avenge an earlier loss to Cal Baptist. They host the Lancers at Global Credit Union Arena tomorrow night at 6. You can watch that one on Fox 10 Extra or ESPN Plus with the Dan Bickley on the call with Barry Butel. Four Nations Face-Off Championship in Boston did not disappoint, unless you're an American hockey fan. Canada wins the first ever tournament, 3-2 in overtime as Connor McDavid scored 8:18 into the extra period for the win. The U.S. took a 2-1 lead, 7:32 into the second on a goal from Jake Sanderson, but Canada's Sam Bennett answered 6:28 later to tie the game, setting the stage for the overtime heroics by McDavid. Nathan McKinnon of Canada named the most valuable player of the tournament. The NHL schedule resumes tomorrow. 28 of the league's 32 teams on the ice. Cactus League play is here. Around the Valley, D-backs begin their 32-game spring slate today at Salt River Fields against the Colorado Rockies. We'll see Corbin Burns throw his first pitches as a Diamondback today. He faces Colorado right-hander Bradley Blaylock. First pitch, 110. Same two teams Saturday at Salt River. You can hear that game on ESPN 620. And Sunday, the D-backs will face the Mariners at Peoria Sports Complex. Other games in the Valley today, Dodgers and Cubs in Mesa, Royals and Rangers in Surprise, and the Padres and Mariners tangle at Peoria Sports Complex. Yankees announced a 2-year contract extension for manager Aaron Boone, which will keep him in pinstripes through the 2027 season. He's managed the Yankees for 7 seasons. 603 and 429 guided them to the World Series last year. And in football, new Saints head coach Kellen Moore has found his offensive coordinator, plucking Doug Nussmeier from Philadelphia to fill that role. Nussmeier was the Eagles' QB coach under Moore in the 2024 season, which, of course, ended in a Super Bowl title for the Eagles. There you go. There is your splash for this Friday, February 21st. Coming up, Suns being healthy, Spurs losing Wemby, neutral site. Nothing seems to matter as the Suns continue to spiral. We'll get into it next. It's Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
You can listen to Arizona Sports 98.7 all over Arizona, even when you're out of range of our mighty transmitter that sits atop South Mountain. If you've got Wi-Fi or any cell signal, you can hear Arizona Sports live on the Arizona Sports app. Download the Arizona Sports app, presented by Ready Services Plumbing and Air Conditioning.
Southwest Gas supports the lifestyle of Arizonans. Hey, it's Vince Murata, and whether it's cooking a traditional meal, providing hot water for invigorating showers, or creating the ambiance for family gatherings, Southwest Gas proudly fuels our homes and fuels our communities with a safe and reliable natural gas service. In fact, more than 92% of Arizona customers prefer natural gas service in their homes, but natural gas is more than an essential ingredient in the kitchen and the home. It supports economic development and growth in our community as well, and Southwest Gas is at the forefront of that. Southwest Gas Holdings has been recognized on Newsweek's list of the world's most trustworthy companies, ranking in the top 2% among publicly listed companies worldwide. Time has recognized Southwest Gas Holdings as one of America's best midsize companies for its commitment to employee satisfaction, revenue growth, and sustainable transparency. Simply put, Southwest Gas is an energy partner that prioritizes trust, community, reliability, and safety. You can learn more about these recognitions and about how Southwest Gas is dedicated to excellence in the community by visiting swgas.com.
Golf responsibly with Bad Birdie Juicy Golden Ale from Four Peaks Brewing, Arizona's #1 craft brewery. Bad Birdie Juicy Golden Ale is easy to enjoy. Subtle notes of passion fruit, orange, and guava flavors, and a crisp, refreshing finish. Check out Bad Birdie Juicy Golden Ale at your local restaurant or retailer. Golf responsibly.
Global Credit Union. Everything a bank offers, but better. Dave Burns here. With Global Credit Union, you'll see benefits you might not get at a traditional bank, and my favorites, early access to direct deposit funds. You can use your direct deposited paycheck up to 3 days in advance. So treat yourself to better banking this holiday season. Stop into one of their 12 branches or go to globalcu.org to open an account today. Global Credit Union, your world of financial possibilities. Free checking and no monthly maintenance fee. Only apply to core checking accounts. Direct deposit required for early payday. Other fees may apply.
Febreze.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze. La 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 la.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Chuck McDowell here again. Over the years, I've seen way too many timeshare exit companies pop up, take folks' money, and disappear. I just saw an ad from an exit company started by a couple of bozos that used to work for me. My advice, don't hire bozos out fire. Want out of your timeshare? Call me, and I'll send you our free timeshare exit info kit explaining your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free kit, 800-949-1441. 800-949-1441.
Looking to upgrade your home? The Window Depot is your go-to spot for Milgard windows and patio doors. Select from a variety of styles, including aluminum, vinyl, or fiberglass, to start your journey to a brighter, more beautiful home. The Window Depot has Milgard windows in stock, ready to go home today, or their team can help you with a special order. Whether you're looking for energy efficiency, aesthetic appeal, or custom solutions, they've got you covered. Build the home you deserve with Milgard windows and doors from the Window Depot. Visit thewindowdepot.com to find a location near you.
Only on the CW.
Live all season.
How you like that, baby?
See NASCAR Xfinity Superstars, Justin Allgaier and Austin Hill.
Let's go win a championship!
Alongside racing's hungriest up-and-comers.
Oh, timbers are flaring. Tell him I'm coming for him. That kid is amazing.
It's the NASCAR Xfinity Series on the CW. This week, we're live from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Coverage begins Saturday at 2:30, only on CW7 Arizona.
Channel 7, it's all good.
We all could use more time. Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions, so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. I can see why they call it smart. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Hey, it's Luke. How did Kevin Durant perform in his return to Austin, and how did the Suns look in their return from the All-Star break? We'll be reacting to Suns Spurs at 10 a.m. It's Wolf and Luke on Arizona Sports.
The final seconds off the clock. Spurs win it tonight in Austin, 120-109, the final score at Moody Center on the campus of the University of Texas. Suns have lost 4 straight now to fall 3 games below 500 at 26-29. They're now 10-18 on the road.
John Bloom on the final call last night from Austin, Texas, the big homecoming of Kevin Durant, which in a lot of ways, and judging from Kevin Durant's comments after the game, maybe masked, put a Band-Aid on some of the frustration. I'm still waiting for this team to show some frustration.
Isn't it unbelievable? Isn't it? It's almost as bad as their performances themselves.
Last night was so puzzling. You're thinking, okay, fresh start, got away for a bit. Full health? What is this?
Yeah, full health, at neutral site.
They fall behind 8-0.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
And it's over.
That's it.
And it's over. They never once led in that game.
I've determined it. It's over, by the way. My optimism tank is absolutely empty. And I'm almost to the point, just about to the point where I think there should be some tendonitis flare-ups because the Phoenix Suns cannot do anything over these last 27 games to jeopardize their own ability to completely restructure this roster. And the more you play these guys, the more you're risking them to injury, the more you leave them out there and leave them more undesirable.
All right, so the question is, how many of the starters would they have to sit down for Ryan Dunn to play? Probably 6, 7 of them.
Look, you want to start in puzzling decisions? How bad is this team defensively?
Very, very, very,
on the
very,
perimeter,
very bad.
They can't stop anybody on the perimeter, and they don't have rim protection. It's a bad combination.
Certainly is.
So if you're looking for options, if you're the head. And then you look at the bench and you say, can anybody on this team play defense? Not you, Dunn. You sit down.
Yeah.
Can anybody else play defense? 20 seconds of playing time.
It doesn't
for your
make
best
any
defensive
sense.
player?
It does not make a darn bit of sense, especially when you're watching De'Aaron Fox just blow by Grayson Allen late in the game. It's like you've got an option here.
Oh, they're targeting Grayson Allen. Yeah, you got an option. You got more than one option.
Yeah.
Maybe not switch on everything if they're hunting a switch that they're going to take advantage of and did every single time. Or I don't know, put a good perimeter defender on him.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. The fact that Oso has now been relegated, the fact that you've got young players that you should be developing is...
It's the reason you drafted these guys.
Jared, how much are you going to interrupt us in the first 15 minutes of the show?
Adding to the show.
My goodness, there's room for you, bro. Just let me get my thought out.
Adding to your show.
No, you are. I'm not saying you're not. Just chill for a second, homie.
This segment's had more
I'm like your hype man.
NBA.
Your hype man.
And then he interrupts me when I'm in the middle of a line.
All right, I'll be quiet for the rest of the show.
No, we're not saying that. Just let.
As you were.
Okay. So, yes, I don't know what Mike Budenholzer is doing with these rotations. I don't know because it looked like early on there wasn't a desperation that I was hoping to see, but it looked like the Suns were trying, and yet they still got off to a terrible start, and you fall behind, and then you give up another 30-point quarter to begin the game to a Spurs team that just lost Victor Wembanyama for the rest of the season. That right there made me just want to throw up. At the end of the first quarter, I'm like, this is just pathetic.
Well, I mean, it starts there. You were hoping for something resembling fresh, and I got 2 separate text messages from 2 different people last night in the first quarter of that game, asking questions like, what is Devin Booker doing out there? Does he want to be out there? There was other ones that I won't recite on the air.
No.
It was a puzzling performance early by Devin Booker.
Very much so.
He airballed his first shot. His second shot, he tried to bank, and he missed by about 3 feet. Didn't have a field goal in the first half of that game.
Nope. Another very, very poor shooting game.
Later in the game, the Suns do fight back. They had a couple runs in the game to make it close. They had one in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Cut it to 2 after a Kevin Durant 3 with about 8 minutes to go. In a winnable game, Kevin Durant, automatic walking bucket, 1 shot. And that doesn't necessarily come down to coaching. That comes down to flow on the court. But make that make sense to me.
Listen, when Kevin Durant is in the mid-post or the few times he's on the post, there's not even an effort to get him the ball. There's so much wrong with this basketball team. Welcome back to the dark side, by the way. I know you as a lifelong Phoenix Suns fan. You want so badly for this to work, and it's just so clearly not working. And I had the exact same thought last night. I thought, okay, at this point in time, the gig is up. You kind of know what's happening with this team, and at some point in time, you are going to have to protect these assets that you need to trade at the end of the season. That is the bottom line here. And I thought of that last night when Kevin Durant was fiddling with his thumb late in the game, when Devin Booker looked like his knee was bugging him a little bit.
Yeah, he knocked knees again. Yep. I mean, the seeds are planted.
Yeah.
Follow that.
Yeah.
They don't need to hurry back.
No. Yes, I'm with you on that. It's tremendously depressing. Tremendously depressing.
And you'd be okay as a Suns fan. You would be okay if you heard the word unacceptable. James Jones was pretty stern in his criticism of the team yesterday when he came on for Newsmakers Week. Pretty stern. The combatants on the court and on the bench, you don't hear it from. Here was Kevin Durant last night. Again, he went home to where he played his season of college basketball at the University of Texas. And he was asked about how frustrating are the losses.
Yeah, it get a little frustrating after you take an L, but overall, we get another opportunity to right the ship tomorrow and practice film. And, so I'm grateful for every time I get to step on the court and trying to finish this thing off right. But yeah, after games, it get a little frustrating, and in the moment when we having a bad stretch, it get a little frustrating. But
you enjoyed the game as much as
yeah, come on now, it's beauty in the struggle, It's beauty in that, all of that stuff, especially when you come out on the other side of things and you realize that pressure, them hard times made you better, So I think we can all pull from these experiences to get better and use it for the next game. But the worst thing we could do is, feel sorry for ourselves. Still got to put our best foot forward no matter what the record is and go out there and try to play the best ball the next day. And if you don't play great ball that day, try to do it the day after that until the season over, So that's the mindset we all try to have. Yeah, it's frustrating. But the quicker you can get over it, the better you become. And, the solutions will be, easier to come by if you, let it go, So, yeah, we think about it tonight and move on tomorrow.
Look, there's a long soundbite there and a lot of ground covered by Kevin Durant. But he said one thing in the middle that absolutely rings true, and that is there is beauty in the struggle when you come out the other side. There's no beauty in the struggle right now because there's no indication or evidence that they're coming out the other side.
No. And just the vibe and the words that he said, it's just that chill vibe that drives Suns fans insane. I mean, where is the spirited objection to everything that is going on here? To come out of an 8-day break and lose to a team like that without their best player. It's It's mind-boggling to me. It really, really is. And nobody wants to take ownership of it on that level. On that level of, this is ridiculous, this is going to stop. You know what I mean? I don't hear any of it.
Well, and the inability to learn collectively as a team is so frustrating. Everybody can pinpoint what the problem is. James Jones, first thing he said out of his mouth, turnovers, careless turnovers. 18 more last night. And you watch some of them, and yeah, there was bad passes. Yeah, there was 2 traveling calls, which to me at this point in today's NBA, you can really swing a game as a referee by making that call. There's a million traveling calls in the game, and when you try to be demonstrative about it, and they did it twice in the third quarter, did it cost the Suns the game? No, whatever. But the lazy passes, the passivity in driving to the hoop on a defender where they just rip the ball out of their hands, and then there's where's the foul? And then they jog back down the court.
Yep.
The inability to learn from mistakes is very frustrating in every walk of life, and it certainly applies to this basketball team.
This team is very, very unlikable for a lot of reasons, and you just put a few out there, and you're right. The Devin Booker component of it is what's got me more perplexed than absolutely anything. Last night he got called for doing something he had done earlier in the season that you and I talked about in that endgame situation where he got called for traveling after getting a pass. What's that about?
Again, that's a subjective call. If they let that go, nobody says anything. It was making an example. But I will say this, and you get on Devin Booker about this. I thought early in the game, there's a lot of those drives to the hoop where the hands go up and you can hear the audio of, what the hell?
Right.
The foul hunting.
Yep.
It's just put the ball in the basket.
Yeah, that's it. So I'm at the point now where the end of the season can't get here soon enough. And maybe I'll feel differently, but after last night, it was just disgusting.
I spent the early part of this week ripping on All-Star Weekend and how unwatchable it was. I want All-Star Weekend to hit again this weekend. That's where I am right now. I think it's called Wits End.
All right, so Jarrett, what do you have to add to this now? Come on, give us your thoughts. Now that we've cleared our
I've said it all.
Coming up next. Oh, I'm sorry, Jarrett. Were you saying something? The Four Nations final lived up to the hype. So how much will the event actually help the sport of hockey long term? We'll get into it next. It's Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Suns up.
Spurs win it tonight in Austin, 120-109, the final score at Moody Center on the campus of the University of Texas. Suns have lost 4 straight now to fall 3 games below 500 at 26-29, and now 10-18 on the road.
We talk about this Suns L today on Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here, and if you've noticed a lot of people under the weather lately, if the cold and flu season's spreading around your work or your children's school, if you've got allergy issues and they've been acting up, Parker & Sons has got a great solution. It is called the Captura Air Scrubber, and it prevents mold, bacteria, and viruses from entering your living space, cuts down on allergies and dust. It will clean the air in your house 24 hours a day, making your home healthier and safer for your family, and it makes a really big difference because most people do not know how much gunk you are actually breathing in the safety of your own home. Remember, Parker & Sons is the company you trust for your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. They've served the Valley for 50 years. They've been recognized for their outstanding service by the U.S. Congress. They are the most awarded business in Arizona, #1 by Ranking Arizona 16 years in a row. Sports fans know better than anyone the importance of being #1 and what that means. Call Parker & Sons at 602-2REPAIR. That's 602, the number 2, then REPAIR for Parker & Sons.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow. Maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
In celebration of Arizona being the 48th state of the Union and Ford trucks being #1 in sales for 48 straight years, Sanderson Ford is celebrating President's Day with a presidential sale on 848 new vehicles. Net A with savings of $4,800 or more.
Save up to $4,800 on Bronco Sport Badlands. Save up to $10,000 off on F-150, STX, and XLT trucks. And save up to $10,000 off on full-size Bronco Badlands. Sanderson Ford also has 25 quality pre-owned vehicles to choose from, priced at $25,000 or less.
Shop with no hassle, no pressure, and no nonsense, and see why Sanderson Ford is America's most awarded Ford dealership for complete customer satisfaction. Don't miss the Sanderson Ford Presidential Sale.
Offers on 2024 models and include Ford rebates, Sanderson discounts, and Conquest cash and flex buy discounts you must qualify for. See dealer for details. All offers expire March 3rd, 2025.
Listen up, Basinonians. The President's Day sale at Brooklyn Bedding has been extended. And here's the deal. Now through February 25th, you can get 25% off everything in-store or online. That's right, my young Krug brothers. The best sleep ever on the best mattress ever is just a click away. Or better yet, head on over to one of Brooklyn Bedding's 12 Basin locations and tell them Wolf sent you to get 25% off your entire purchase. For the best sleep ever, get the best mattress ever at Brooklyn Bedding.
Real stories with Hellsberg.
After we met and we started dating, Nancy and I lived 150 miles apart, and I would drive my old jalopy car, and it was roughly a 3-hour distance. It took 3 years I drove across that state, back and forth, dating her every weekend.
Persistence.
And I would have never stopped. I had a lot of energy back then, 36 years ago.
At Hellsberg, find the engagement ring worthy of your story. Designed with the love, care, and craft it deserves. Visit a Hellsberg store or hellsberg.com.
I'm Fred Khalil with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. February has not been kind to the Phoenix Suns. Entering last night's game in Austin, Texas against the Spurs, the Suns lost 6 of 7 games this month. Make it 7 of 8 as the Spurs beat the Suns 120-109. Spurs star Victor Wembanyama is out for the season with a blood clot in his shoulder, but San Antonio's new guy, De'Aaron Fox, looked pretty good. Scored 26 points in the Spurs win. Royce O'Neal had a career-high 27 for the Suns. Kevin Durant had 22. The Suns play tomorrow in Chicago and Sunday in Toronto. Both games right here on Arizona Sports 98.7. Tomorrow's game tips off at 2, Sunday in Toronto at 3 o'clock. The Four Nations face-off final lived up to the hype as Team USA and Canada played an overtime thriller in Boston last night. Canada's Connor McDavid scored an OT to give Canada the 3-2 win. Canadian goaltender Jordan Binnington of the Blues made a couple of big saves. He stopped Austin Matthews and Brady Tkachuk late in this one. Tkachuk did score for the U.S., but his brother Matthew did not play in the third period or overtime with a lower body injury. We won't have to wait long, though, for more international play. The Winter Olympics in Italy are just under a year away. The Diamondbacks opened Cactus League play this weekend with the first of 2 against the Rockies at Salt River Fields. Both today and Saturday start at 1:10. The new guy, Corbin Burns, will be on the mound this afternoon. And tomorrow's game is going to be on ESPN 620, the first of 9 spring training broadcasts. This report is brought to you by CW Arizona. The NASCAR Xfinity Series is burning up the track. Don't miss a single lap from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Saturday at 2:30 only on CW7 Arizona.
Hey, it's Wolf. Could the Arizona Cardinals make a big move this offseason? We'll be reacting to what Cardinals general manager Monty Ossenford said on Newsmakers Week at 10 a.m. It's Wolf and Luke on Arizona Sports.
Centering pass, McDavid scores! Connor McDavid wins it for Canada! And Jordan Binnington has done it again inside the TD Garden.
Sean McDonough on the final call on ESPN. Game that went into overtime, the championship game of the Four Nations face-off. United States and Canada going at it. McDavid wins it for Canada, 8-18 into the overtime frame, and we saw uncommon, I guess. Maybe it is common for hockey, but
what's that?
For this level of interest to be drummed up for, I'm pretty sure a lot of people that watched that and were glued to their televisions last night watching that hockey event didn't know it was even coming on the calendar, quite honestly.
It is one of the more surprisingly impactful sporting events that kind of dropped on our heads that I can remember.
Good way to put it.
It speaks to what a league can do if you really reimagine an all-star game. It speaks to the incredible appeal of having country v. country, all that stuff.
Best on best, as they call it.
Oh, that is what they were calling it, best on best.
Which, as Fred said in the update, is leading up next year's the Winter Olympics next February in Italy. So this is leading up to a bigger hockey competition, and that'll recapture the minds and imaginations of hockey fans in this country too. I was overwhelmed because I talked to hockey fans going into the tournament. And they're like, this is stupid. This is contrived. What are they doing?
Right.
I know that the All-Star weekend sucks, but what are they doing? And then last Saturday happened.
And then the
in
Kachuk
Montreal,
boys, yeah, right.
The Kachuk boys went nut house. And it set the stage for last night. And I was out and about last night, and my goodness, there was a lot of interest in that game.
Yeah. Yeah, that does not come as a surprise to me. That game, to me, was one of those classic moments of there really weren't any losers because the sport benefited so much. Canada, this game probably meant more to Canada in the long run based on all the geopolitical, based on the mood of that country, based on all that stuff. But Team USA last night proved they are right there with Canada now.
Yep.
It's not like, oh, wow, they had a great tournament and they were able to compete. That was a world-class hockey game last night.
It was.
Where every shift mattered, where everybody on the ice was playing primo defense, and you saw outrageous goaltending, particularly from the Canadian side. And at the end, there's Connor McDavid alone in front of the net. Newsflash to all hockey people.
That's not going to end well.
Don't leave Connor McDavid alone in front of the net.
Not going to end well.
Not going to end well.
To your point, here was Mark Messier from ESPN.
They got a long way to go to surpass Canada internationally.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they're not there yet. I don't think you could look at these two teams and say one was better than the other. One was more talented than the other. One country is has a more depth in their players than the other. To me, they're very evenly matched there, but Canada has got a stranglehold on that. And again, they found a way to win the hockey game. And in the end, the only thing that matters is if you won or lost, and Canada won today.
Yeah, and to your point, too, and you mentioned the geopolitical stuff going on. Obviously, that was interwoven throughout this tournament, especially when it came to Canada and the United States. But at the heart of it, even if that didn't happen, Canada doesn't want to lose to the United States in hockey in any event when it's best on best.
No.
I have to bring something up, though.
Certainly.
And I know people are going to disagree with me. Not everybody, but I think some people will disagree with me. The open to the broadcast was brilliantly done. They intertwined Kurt Russell's speech as Herb Brooks from the movie Miracle.
That was fantastic.
And they modernized it and kind of applied it. But to me, there's no actual application of that event to what we saw last night. In 1980, when Kurt Russell delivered that speech, or excuse me, Herb Brooks delivered that speech in Lake Placid, he was talking to a group that had no chance to win. The biggest underdogs ever. A team that had lost by double-digit goals in an exhibition game against the same Soviet team like a month prior. They had no business being on the ice with that team. And they played up this whole underdog card, even including the line from the movie, we might play them 10 times, they might win 9 of them. You just beat them last Saturday. I hated it. It was brilliantly done.
Oh, you did?
The editing was, I just thought it was cheesy.
Okay.
It was tapping into something very base American to me.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I see that. I definitely see that. But I think what a lot of people felt was it's been a long time since this country has felt that way about a national hockey team. And I think that is the thread that is connecting them. But what's interesting to me is why this hit so hard. And we've sketched on some ideas. USA, Canada, there's always a level of heat to that to those matchups. This year, that heat was off the charts for a lot of reasons. But just the idea of watching dudes play that hard because it meant that much to them was very, very refreshing. And I've heard a lot of people. I've heard a lot of people riff on this, and they use it as a platform to hammer the NBA, where guys don't play through anything, and it's all about the name on the back of the jersey now in the NBA, all that stuff. I think that is really part and parcel with what we felt. That the passion of these guys playing for the sake of competition, for the sake of bragging rights, was exhilarating to me.
And it happened in a sport where I don't think you have to prod the participants that much to do that.
No.
But they did it. And when it's held up against, and again, we talked about this gap in the calendar for the NBA and this tournament filling that gap on the sporting landscape in this country, huge, huge win for hockey, for Canadian hockey, for American hockey. Nathan McKinnon talked about it.
I think it does a lot. I think it was much more popular than even we would have imagined. It was getting so much attention from our whole continent. It was pretty cool, just the build up over the last 3 days of Canada versus USA. So obviously a lot of stuff going on with Canada and the USA right now, and us playing against each other was kind of a perfect storm for our sport, and it's great to have new eyeballs on it.
And
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say one of the things I was worried about that Boston crowd doing to the Canadian national anthem what Canada fans did to the U.S. national anthem, and there was just a little murmur of it, but it never took root, and that felt good to me.
I mean, America has no reason to be mad at Canada.
That's it. That's exactly it. So there's the sensibility of that hockey audience to understand why they were booing the national anthem a few nights before in Montreal.
To your point, Jared, I agree with your point, but some people would say, well, they booed our
right
anthem.
In response.
So
it would be,
that's why the
response.
Kachuk boys dropped gloves. It wasn't like they were defending tariffs or this or that.
No.
It was just the visceral reaction of you guys booed our national anthem. Okay, we're dropping gloves.
And that was a round robin game, and last night was more about hockey.
Right.
So I think they checked both boxes.
And overall, this just reminds me of sort of the World Baseball Classic and what a revelation that was a few years ago, that all of a sudden there's interest in this exhibition event because of the sort of patriotism that was involved. Yeah. And it's something that the NBA just can't replicate completely, because it'd be USA versus the world. It wouldn't be USA versus individual countries.
What was rough is that Team USA had some primo chances early in that overtime. Primo. And Jordan Binnington was just fantastic. And then again, for Connor McDavid to be alone in front of the net, as soon as that puck landed on his stick, I'm like, it's over. It's
and
over.
And
it was.
Yeah, multi-platinum artist and Arizona native Dierks Bentley has announced he'll be coming to Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater June 20th for the Broken Branches Tour. Tickets go on sale today at 10 o'clock, but you can win a pair right now by visiting the contest page at Arizona Sports. Coming up next, Suns lost again and have fans asking, does anything make sense anymore? We'll get into some of those questions next. It's Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Wolf and Luke, middays 10 to 2.
It is incredible right now, honestly. I'm so happy for Geraldo Perdomo receiving this 4-year extension. This guy is one of my favorite Diamondbacks. He starts a lot of rallies. He gets on base in a lot of different ways. He's fundamentally solid with his glove. He's got a clutch gene in him as well. He's respected and loved in the clubhouse.
Perdomo's kind of the one that just doesn't get as much hype, but he's such a key piece to what they're doing.
Wolf and Luke, middays 10 to 2 on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here for Chapman BMW, and buyer beware is great advice, especially when making big purchases like a new automobile, as in beware the high price of mediocrity. You will find that everywhere in the automotive world. You will not find mediocrity anywhere at Chapman BMW. Chapman BMW, your premier destination for luxury and performance. They've got 2 great locations, which means you're going to get the best selection you're going to find in the valley, whether you're looking for new BMWs, EVs, certified pre-owned BMWs, high-quality used cars, whatever you're looking for, you are going to find it at Chapman BMW. This is a family-owned, award-winning business since 1966. That's also a rarity in today's corporate automotive world, and everything they do from Ted Chapman all the way down is elite. You'll feel it the minute you walk into either location. Also, listeners of this radio program, you get the additional hookup. So go take a test drive, find what you like, then ask for my guy, Shane O'Hanrahan, GM of both locations. Great dude. He is going to hook you up. You can always shop online at ChapmanBMW.com. That's Chapman BMW. 2 great locations, 1 great experience.
The Valley of the Sun will roar to life this spring because NASCAR is coming to Phoenix, and it's going to be a weekend of good vibes the whole family won't forget. NASCAR Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, March 7th through the 9th. Get your tickets now at PhoenixRaceway.com.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com. Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Healthy hearts love longer. They let you be there for all of life's most precious moments, big and small. That's why the expert cardiologists at Dignity Health never miss a beat. They work alongside a cardiology care team to guide you through whatever comes your way. It's our job to keep your heart in tip-top shape so you can be there for whatever greatness comes next. Find your doctor today at dignityhealth.org/azheart. Dignity Health. Hello, human kindness.
Hey, it's Gambo. We got our first look at the Phoenix Suns out of the break. What are our biggest takeaways? We'll tell you today at 2 on the Burns and Gambo Show.
We just got to come to work tomorrow. We got to stay together. We got to keep working. We had a good day yesterday. It didn't go our way tonight. You just got to get up the next morning. You got to come back and you got to work and you got to stay together. Do all the little things on both ends of the court that lead to winning. So, you just got to do your work.
That's Mike Budenholzer, head coach of the Suns, following an 11-point loss last night to the San Antonio Spurs in Austin to kick off their post-All-Star portion of the schedule. The question being asked there is, how do you stop things from completely snowballing and falling apart? That was his answer. We'll get into some of the other points on that subject. I wanted to add something real quick to what I said about the Miracle Open.
Okay.
I thought it was cheesy.
All right.
I know cheesy inspirational stuff, too. I can speak on this. I'm the idiot that put Monty Williams' post-bubble comments to music
yeah.
from the Friday Night Lights soundtrack and made people cry. And looking back, that was cheesy as hell. So I think I'm qualified to actually speak on that.
On Cheeseball, yeah, okay.
I'll point the finger at myself, too.
You got it. You got it.
Because I know you rolled your eyes a little bit that day.
I did. But that's okay.
We had nothing.
You were feeling it. I get it. It's okay.
We had nothing.
It's okay. And what do we have now?
Close to
Jeff,
nothing.
What did you say? What did you say?
Jarrett's favorite week of the year is Newsmakers.
Yes,
week.
it is. Yes, it is.
I disagree.
For
but
what? Does anything make sense with the Phoenix Suns
That's a
anymore?
good question. That's a real good question. And I think the answer to that question is no. I don't know what I was expecting to see, but last night wasn't it. And what I wanted to see was a real desperation, and I wanted to see a glimmer of hope that something might actually turn in the final 30-plus games. And last night was just a reminder that this team, they can't defend on the perimeter. They can't defend at the rim. They still make ridiculously lazy turnovers. Last night, Bol throwing the ball across the lane, picked off layup for the end of the first half, and this team is just loaded with bad habits. It's a poorly constructed team, and again, you mentioned Devin Booker. Suns fans are in a real uncomfortable place, and you saw it. I've seen it as well, because there's a lot of people now wondering what is going on with him, but we also know that he is Mr. Phoenix. So we're digging really, really deep into this well of despair here in Phoenix.
Look, if this trend continues, we're going to get into really, really uncomfortable territory, because the question is going to sway to, all right, how much do you tear down? Like, the focus right now is on Kevin Durant. They dangled him before the trade deadline. That is what it is. That's water under the bridge. Kevin Durant seems like he's okay to go out and play basketball right now in a Phoenix Suns uniform. Whatever happens, happens until the summertime. But if this doesn't turn around, which I'm convinced it won't, it's not going to. But
how far
this
do you
trend
tear
continues.
down?
How far do you tear down? If you really want to revamp the look of your team, I don't think anything can be off the table.
Yeah. Well,
and this is coming from me, who's been a 10-year proponent and apologist for Devin Booker.
Well, yes, but there are times when Devin Booker looks like he's going through the motions. There are times when his struggles offensively, you wonder what happened to that killer that we had a couple of years ago. And he's just not the same guy, and I'm sorry, he's not. That's what my eyes tell me. Then to compound matters, I believe there's a few players who are eligible for Supermax extensions this offseason, and Devin Booker's one of them. Nikola Jokic is one of them. Karl Anthony Towns is one of them. They all have the ability to decline a $62.8 million player option. Could you imagine declining $62.8 million a year?
I'll get it on the back.
Right. I'll get it on the back. And they can become eligible for a 3-year, $212 million deal. That's a lot of money to pay for a basketball player who has, if he hasn't regressed, he's certainly stopped elevating.
I think that's fair. Another thing that didn't make sense to me last night, again, in a winnable game, the Suns took 22 shots in the fourth quarter. Kevin Durant took 2 of them. 4 other players in a Suns uniform took more shots in the fourth quarter.
The one guy that's a bucket for you. And
last night was incredibly efficient. 9 of 13 had 1 turnover.
Yeah.
That made no sense.
That made Ryan Dunn 20 seconds of playing time.
That made no sense. Nick Richards starts and was active. Didn't play.
6 rebounds early.
Didn't play after the first quarter. And you could say, oh, they went small. Well, Mason Plumlee still played double the amount of time that Nick Richards played. Mike Budenholzer was asked about that after the game, too. Why so little time for Dunn and Richards?
I mean, we mapped out a 9-man rotation, and then we tightened it from there. So I think we went with the guys that we thought both ends of the court. We got to be able to make plays defensively, offensively. We were able to close it. We made some runs. We had some good stretches, but again, not enough of them.
No, and both ends of the floor. Offense is one of those ends of the floor, certainly. Correct?
Oh, without a doubt.
The Suns' bigs were outscored by Bismack Biyombo.
Oh, boy.
I love Bismack Biyombo.
Oh, boy.
He's one of my favorite, role players in recent years for the Suns.
Yeah.
He shouldn't outscore your bigs.
No, that should never happen.
He impacted the game.
Yes, and so how about Chris Paul getting under KD's skin the way that he did?
Mm-hmm.
That was quite something as well. I haven't seen KD that hot, maybe ever.
Yeah, and it kind of swayed, and I think it fueled San Antonio, quite honestly. They called the double technicals. I think it was tied at 45 at that point.
Uh-huh.
And that's when San Antonio went on a little bit of a run to get some cushion. They led by 6 at halftime, and they were going at it walking off the court, too.
KD was coming after him.
He was. Here was Kevin Durant explaining what happened between he and CP3.
Oh, no, I think he was trying to, he like gimmicks, he trying anything to win the game, so I think he was just trying to get in my head, knowing that I was heating up a little bit right around that time, too, so I think he was just trying to get in my head, get me to react and get me out the game. But as we kept talking, I knew it was just a game or gimmick for him.
He said something there. He'll do anything to try to win the game.
Uh-huh.
It's a major element that Suns are missing.
That's so true. I thought the exact same thing when I heard that cut, and I thought that's what the Suns need. And to that point, somebody pointed out that had the Suns just shown patience after trading for Kevin Durant, you could be looking at a starting lineup right now of Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Toumani Camara, Kevin Durant, and DeAndre Ayton. Now, it's real easy to say that in hindsight because I know for a fact at the end of that Nuggets series, they were done with DA. They were done with his shenanigans, and so I think looking back and saying that, it's easy to say it because we went through Yusuf Nurkic. But the point remains that Chris Paul would have given this team something it really didn't know it needed.
Yeah, I think if you would have asked the Suns when they made that trade, is Chris Paul capable of having a game where he scores 13 points and grabs or hands out 10 assists? And he didn't shoot the ball well, but he played 31 minutes last night, almost 32 minutes.
Yeah.
They were not convinced he could do that on a consistent basis. And
they also only gave, half a season with Chris Paul, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker to even see if it could ever work.
Yeah, I mean, it turned out to be 8 games together in the regular season plus the playoffs. Yeah,
and then the breaking down near the playoffs reared its head again, and I think the idea of getting this team to play faster seemed very compelling, and mistakes were made. And here we are, Viddy.
Yes, mistakes were made. Coming up next, we'll kick off the final day of Newsmakers Week 2025 on this Friday. We will be joined by the Arizona Cardinals general manager, Monty Ossenfort, in studio for 2 segments, and that is next here on Bickley and Murata Mornings. Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
The Cactus League is underway.
There's the swing and a drive deep to left field. Profar backtrack, all and gone. Off the bench, and an instant impact for Lourdes Gurriel Jr. A pinch hit home run.
Spring training coverage presented by Estrella Jalisco and Window Depot. The home of the Arizona Diamondbacks, Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here, and building wealth is difficult to do from scratch, if not impossible, but the sharp people will tell you the best way to do it is to reduce your debt, and if you're buying a new home or you're looking to refinance, your first phone call should be to Life Changer Loan. Find out if you're a good fit, because if you are, they're going to save you a ton of money. This is an innovative program that combines your banking with your mortgage. You actually do your banking inside your mortgage. You pay all principal first without changing a dime of your spending habits, and you're allowed to pay off your mortgage in a matter of years, not decades. And when that happens, 5 years, by the way, the average length of time a Life Changer Loan client needs to pay off the mortgage. Now you get decades to build personal wealth, and that is how you get ahead. Life Changer Loan also gives you 24/7 access to your equity, which is a really cool thing. You've got the power to pay off, pay down, borrow back whenever you want. If it sounds too good to be true, they hear that all the time. Like they say, it's not magic, it's just math. Find out if you're a good fit. If you are, I guarantee you're going to love the results. 480-504-0844, online at lifechangerloan.com.
Every day, reliable, comfortable, connected. Every day you rely on power. At APS, we work around the clock to deliver some of the most reliable power in the country. But with Arizona's extreme weather, outages can happen. Stay safe and informed with alerts by keeping your contact information up to date. And visit our outage center for updates online or on the APS app. For more ways to stay safe and informed, visit aps.com/brighter.
Hey, Wolf here from my brothers and sisters at Santan Ford. That's right, you've heard me talking about my Santan Ford F-150 and the Warrior Queens Expedition and how we are Santan Ford. Well, if you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, do yourself a favor. Go check out the hundreds of new and used vehicles at Santan Ford. Located at the Santan 202 in Val Vista in Gilbert, Tim Hovick and the great team at Santan Ford will take care of you. Go to santanford.com. I am Santan Ford.
Making choices in the morning can be a bit much. I just want someone to say sausage or egg and cheese biscuit, sausage and cheese or egg and cheese English muffin, small seasoned potatoes, or medium hot coffee. Get 2 for only $3. At Wendy's, fresh-made food means simple choices. Dare we say it's even a little fun? Okay, not like roller coaster fun. There's only so much we can do, people. When you want less thinky and more brekky in the morning, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only during breakfast hours. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price.
Get ready for a Big 12 showdown Wednesday, February 26th at 7:30 p.m. when the Sun Devil men's basketball team takes on the BYU Cougars at Desert Financial Arena. Here's Alston Mason on the dribble. Over to Adam Miller for 3. Bullseye! Don't miss your chance to see the high-flying action. Get your Sun Devil men's basketball versus BYU tickets today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to sundeviltickets.com.
There's going to be a lot more games that tickets get to that price. So if you want to be a part of them, you better buy season tickets. You better do it right now. You better sell it out because we're going to have a lot more games where this state wants to show up to. Buy your season tickets. Let's make that every single week of next year. Because why would you not want to be in that environment? That's one of the most fun places to be in college football. Why would you not want to do that every Saturday?
Get your Sun Devil football tickets today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to sundeviltickets.com.
Golf isn't usually seen as a contact sport, but when today's golfers drive the ball more than 3 football fields in distance, they twist their spines with a force similar to being ejected by a military aircraft. Back injuries are to golf what a concussion is to football, and 1/3 of golfers need care for spine injuries. The Barrow Neurological Institute Spine Program offers minimally invasive surgery to help you get back to your game sooner. Get an opinion at barrowneuro.org/golf. Barrow Neurological Institute, minding what matters most.
Hey, Gambo here with a huge special from Christian Brothers. Get your furnace CO2 checkup for just $49. Make sure your family is safe this winter as people start turning the heat on. And if you just got through with an AC unit on its last leg, Christian Brothers has a special where you can get $2,000 off any AC unit right now. You can even finance a brand new unit for as low as $175 per month. And with any new unit purchase, get a free indoor air scrubber. Christian Brothers carries many of the major brands. Call them at 602-222-3535 or online at cbrothers.com.
KMVP FM Phoenix.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
On the Arizona Sports app and on 98.7.
I'm Fred Khalil with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. If you like hockey, then you probably love the Four Nations Face-Off Tournament, and last night's final between Team USA and Canada did not disappoint. We didn't have the face-off fight, but rather exciting, fast-paced play from both sides. Scottsdale native Brady Tkachuk tied the game at 1. His brother Matthew didn't play in the third period or overtime because of a lower body injury. Tied at 2 after regulation, Connor McDavid scored the game winner for Canada, 8:18 into OT, 3-2 was the final. Tough night for the Suns last night in Austin, taking on the Spurs. They lost their 4th straight game. Last night's final was 120-109. Spurs All-Star big man Victor Wembanyama did not play. He's expected to miss the rest of the season because of a blood clot in his right shoulder. And February has not been kind. The Suns have lost 7 of 8 games this month. Chris Paul and Kevin Durant exchanged words. Both got teed up. Royce O'Neal had a career-high 27. Durant had 22. Cactus League games start today for the Diamondbacks. They'll play the Rockies today and tomorrow at their facility at the Talking Stick Resort. Both games are 1:10 start time, and Corbin Burns gets the start today. In college basketball, ASU plays at Kansas State on Sunday. BYU is at U of A tomorrow. This report is brought to you by Brooklyn Bedding. The President's Day sale has been extended. Get 30% off in-store and online through February 25th. Find a showroom today or go to brooklynbedding.com.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Newsmakers Week with Bickley and Marotta Mornings. The Arizona Cardinals.
We have reached the final day of Newsmakers Week 2025 here on Arizona Sports. It is our pleasure to welcome in Arizona Cardinals General Manager Monty Ossenfort joining us in studio on this Friday morning. Monty, great to see you. Thanks for coming in. As always, we appreciate it.
Awesome, guys. Great being in here. Exciting time, gearing up for the Combine next week, but appreciate you guys making time to have me in today.
Our pleasure.
How's the offseason gone for you so far?
It's going good. It's going good. Off-season is a little bit of a misnomer because we stay rolling pretty good. Our staff was out at the East-West game down in Dallas and then rolled that right into the Senior Bowl in Mobile. And then we followed that up with a week-long set of draft meetings with our college scouts, finished with pro scouting free agency meetings, and then just finished with our coaches yesterday. So, we've been going pretty good here since the end of the season, and then that'll keep going next week with our trip out to Indy for the Combine.
All right, one of the many good things that you've done, there was a time when the Cardinals turned to aging stars to try to get better. A.J. Green, Terrell Suggs, Emmitt Smith. There's a whole handful of them. You've kind of flipped that paradigm on its head, and you've got a lot of young players on this roster. In fact, I read somewhere you've got 60 dudes under contract, and the average age is 25 and a half. Is that by design, and what does that mean for the health of a football team?
Yeah, Big. I think that was one thing that we had to do when we first got here. Is we had to get an identity. We had to form a core, and so we're always going to be a draft and develop team. And so we've had a lot of young players here these last 2 years, and it's shown. We've got a lot of young players, a lot of snaps, and they played a lot of good ball for us. And there, with that comes challenges. It comes opportunity. So our team has to learn, and they're growing together. And we are one of the younger teams in the NFL. I think. The last time I checked at the end of the season, we were maybe the 5th youngest team in the NFL. And, by design, I think it was more so just trying to form that core of the team moving forward. We have good veterans that are sprinkled in there with Buddha and James Conner and Beach and guys like that help and provide leadership. But, that young core, forming that the last 2 years, that's very important. It's important in the salary cap day and age of forming the majority of your team through that, and that's something that we're going to continue to do and continue to believe in.
You mentioned, Monty, getting ready for the Combine, and that's coming up, but I wanted to go back and reflect on 2024, and I think you also mentioned the offseason being so packed for front office types like yourself that you can't really reflect that much. But when you do reflect on 2024, there was a lot of good. The ending was not what anybody wanted. What sticks with you when you reflect on 2024 that really motivates you moving forward?
Yeah, Vince, I think I've done a little bit of that here these last couple of weeks. And so, we were sitting there at the bye, week 10, week 11, sitting 6-4, tied for first place, and we were in a great position. And, the end of the season didn't go the way we wanted, and that was frustrating. And so we look back at that and, we're like, what went wrong? What happened? And so we look at that and, being able to step back from it now and seeing that, 3 or 4 of those games were one-score games, and that's what this league is. And so the first half of the year, we were able to win some of those games that came down to the last snap. And, you look at the games this year, the Minnesota game, the Carolina game, the Rams game that literally was the last play of the game, like those. And so they're one-score games, and it's a thin line in the NFL. But, as we look back on it, taking a step back, we did do good things. Like we doubled our win total, and that's relatively unheard of in the NFL. And to win 5 of our last 6 games at State Farm Stadium, I think that showed growth in our team, and it shows growth in where we're going. And so, the ending definitely disappointed. It's not where we want to be, and it's not where we want to go. But I do think taking a step back, there was good things, and the ability to play young players and have them continue to grow. I think that's going to only help us moving forward.
Your quarterback, Kyler Murray, remains very, very polarizing here in the Valley. I think organizationally, you guys have done everything you can to sort of nurture that relationship and grow him as a quarterback. What do you make of his late season struggles? From your vantage point, what boxes does he have to check to finish these seasons as well as he starts them?
Yeah, and I think Bick, with that, I think it's really the same thing with our whole team. Is we have to, just what you said, we have to finish. And so there were those tight games that, hey, was it only Kyler? No, there was other things that the rest of the team could do. Does Kyler have to play better? Absolutely, he does. So we talk about it all the time. Keys to our team is we don't want to turn the ball over, and we want to make explosive plays. And so when Kyler was doing those things and contributing those things, he was rolling, he was humming, and we saw what that could be. And then when those games get tight and we turn the ball over and Kyler's involved in some of those, like that's where it's going to get tough to win. And it's going to get tough to win late in the season when the window of opportunity just shrinks. And so, that's a hump that we have to get over. And so Kyler has to improve on that. Our whole team has to improve on that. We have to raise our level of consistency. But we've seen what that looks like when Kyler is humming, what he can do with his arms and with his arm and his legs, and the pressure and the stress that he puts on a defense. And so we have to find a way to not only Kyler but the rest of our team even out those ups and those downs, so that we can come out on the right end of those close games, especially late in the season.
Marvin Harrison Jr. was another player that got a lot of talk from the moment you drafted him at number 4 overall. Came in, if you look at the overall numbers, 8 touchdown passes, really good. 885 yards, you'll take that from a rookie anytime. I think we can all agree there was some peaks and valleys for Marvin in his first year. What did you make of his rookie season? What does he need to do better? And what do you say to the critics out there that, quite honestly, I'm sure you heard it, the word bust came up a couple times during the season. What do you say to those people?
Well, I think we couldn't be happier with Marvin. Okay, Marvin, you said it. Like the guy scored touchdowns for us. The guy was our second leading receiver behind a tight end who had a historic season, Trey McBride. And so, are there things that Marvin has to do better and has to improve on? Absolutely. And he's, I think the encouraging thing about Marvin is every day that I've been in the office every day since the season ended. It hasn't been a day that's gone by that Marvin's not in there. Marvin is wired to improve. Marvin is a football player. So, absolutely there's things that Marvin and, Marvin, Kyler, the rest of the offense, like they're going to continue to grow that relationship. But, what Marvin brought to our offense and what he was able to do as a rookie. I mean, you can compare his numbers to, some of the greats that have been in this franchise, that the same that they did in their rookie season. So, I think some of those expectations out there, a little overblown and sure. What those, come into. But I'll tell you what, Marvin means a lot to our team, and he's only going to go get better.
Yeah, I would think that there was a lot of good stuff last year, but I think there was a lot of ceiling obviously left for him to reach going forward, which I think would be a reason for optimism. When you take a look defensively, you've got a team like the Rams who nailed a couple of rookie defensive players and immediate impact. We talked about Marvin Harrison Jr. and about how he's going to continue to grow. Darius Robinson, what do you expect from him in year 2, and how does he get there?
Yeah, Darius is another guy who he went through a lot of trials and tribulations his first year. Like he had a great. We were very excited about him coming out of training camp, and he was great in the month of August, and we were excited about what he was going to do for our defense. And then I don't know what it was, the Wednesday before our first game, going to Buffalo, and just a freak calf injury that calves are brutal injuries, and they're hard, and they're a hard rehab, and you never quite know if they're back ready to roll, and so Darius dealt with that. He dealt with some personal things in his life, and so for Darius to basically miss most of his rookie year and miss that practice time and miss that development, and then for him to battle back, and it was great to get him out on the field, to at least get him a feel for what the speed of the game was going to be. But I know Darius was battling. Darius was battling through it. So we're excited to get him a reset. And he's another guy who's been in the building. He's working. He's training. And really the importance for him is to just get a reset from what last year was. And really excited to the guy that we drafted and the versatility and this disruption and the length and the physicality that he brings, that he can bring to our defense. Just really looking forward to what that can do in his second year.
Wanted to squeeze in one more before the break because we got Monty for 2 segments.
Nice.
You mentioned Trey McBride, historic season. His development has been remarkable. One of the most reliable guys in the league at his position. What does he mean to this team moving forward? And I know a lot of fans are wondering when that contract extension's coming up for Trey.
Yeah,
Can you comment on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Trey is, he's everything we want in this program to be. And so, Trey's, we'll deal with his contract situation here as it comes up. But, what Trey does for us on the field, in the passing game, in the running game, I think that's an underrated component of, the tight end is a vital component in our offense, and just the stress that puts on a defense, the ability to threaten as a receiver and also contribute as a blocker. And then, I think what Trey means to us off the field. I think Trey is in the mold of the guys that we've wanted to be a part of this program. You can put him in the bucket with Buddha and James Conner and Fro and Zaven Collins, guys that do things right on and off the field. And so, Trey's a great person. Trey's a great player, and Trey's a guy that I want to be around our program for a long time going forward.
Well, like I said, we got Monty for 2 segments, so we're going to take a quick timeout. We'll look to the future of the Arizona Cardinals. This offseason, a big one. Monty Ossenfort with us in studio for Newsmakers Week 2025 here on Bickley and Murata Mornings. Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Suns up. Suns up.
Spurs win it tonight in Austin, 120-109, the final score at Moody Center on the campus of the University of Texas. Suns have lost 4 straight now to fall 3 games below 500 at 26-29. They're now 10-18 on the road.
We talk about this Suns L today on Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
Hey, it's Vince Murata here for Earnhardt Buick GMC in Mesa, and that's where General Manager Brad Gunlickson and his team are rolling out huge President's Day deals all February long. How huge? How about low 0.9% APR financing on 2025 GMC Sierra 1500 Turbo Max and Terrain SUVs? You want to go lower? They can do that too. You can drive out an all-electric 2025 GMC Hummer SUV at 0% APR financing for 60 months. All offers require approved credit, and they do end soon. So hurry into Earnhardt Buick GMC or find it all online at EarnhardtBuickGMC.com. We are professional grade, and that ain't no bull.
Most new vehicles include a $998 no bull protection package as an added benefit. Offer includes all applicable incentives on select models. APR terms is limited through GM Financial. 0% for 60 months is $16.67 per month for 1,000 finance. Based on approved credit. Not all will qualify, plus tax, title, license, and $599 doc fee. See dealer for details. Offer ends 3/3/25.
D-backs fans get access to flexible ticket plans, exclusive events, postseason priority, and more when you become a D-backs Advantage member. For more info, visit dbacks.com/memberships.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Real stories with Hellsberg.
After we met and we started dating, Nancy and I lived 150 miles apart, and I would drive my old jalopy car, and it was roughly a 3-hour distance. It took 3 years I drove across that state back and forth dating her every weekend.
Persistence.
And I would have never stopped. I had a lot of energy back then. 36 years ago.
At Hellsberg, find the engagement ring worthy of your story. Designed with the love, care, and craft it deserves. Visit a Hellsberg store or hellsberg.com.
Hey, it's Mike Broomhead. Over the last 20 years, the attorneys at Sweet James have helped enough accident victims to fill an entire sports arena. The role they play in their injured clients' recovery drives them to produce the best results. Just listen to this story. A client's world changed after a reckless drunk driver hit his vehicle and left him with severe injuries. He couldn't get the insurance company to help him at all, and after all the frustration, he called Sweet James. His team of attorneys stepped in to make sure he got the medical treatment he really needed, and they wouldn't let up until they delivered a massive $7 million win for him. In this situation, caring and winning go hand in hand. It means medical care, maximum compensation, and justice. That's Sweet James. If you're ever hurt in an accident, the results matter. Call the attorneys at Sweet James and don't wait. 800-9-million. That phone number, once again, is 800-9-million. That's 800-900-0000, or you can find them online at sweetjames.com. That's sweetjames.com.
Proud partner of your Phoenix Suns.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Newsmakers Week with Bickley and Murata Mornings. The Arizona Cardinals.
Monty Ossenfort, the general manager of the Arizona Cardinals, in studio with us for a second segment as we continue Newsmakers Week 2025. Let's look to the future. You said you're getting ready for the Combine in Indianapolis. 6 draft picks at your disposal this year, number 16 overall in the first round. I think, it's a time, we always talk about this every year. There's not a sporting event on the calendar that gets more talk about it than the NFL draft, just because of the lead up after the season. So everybody's got their idea of what the Cardinals need. What do the Cardinals need through your eyes, the guy who's calling the shots?
Yeah, well, we need good football players, and so I think we're in a little bit different situation than we have the last 2 years, and picking 16 this year, it's harder to predict who's going to be available at 16. The last 2 years we were initially at 3, and then last year we were at 4, and so we had a better idea. We could narrow it down. It's going to be 1 of 3 players available, 1 of 4 players. Now it's now I think this draft more than any other, I don't think there's a lot of consensus. I mean, even, there's a lot of talk about quarterbacks, and when the quarterbacks aren't clear cut, that makes everything else up in the air. And so, I think for us, the challenge is we got to be prepared for anything. And I don't think it's a situation where, hey, we're going to zero in and say, this is the position we're sitting on at 16, because a lot can happen to us in front of us. And opportunities to, we got to be ready to opportunities to move up, opportunities to move back, don't know who's going to be there. And so when we don't know what exactly is going to happen in front of us, we just have to be prepared for anything. So overall, I think, just where we're at as a team, I don't think there's one position that we can say, hey, like this can't help us. We just have to be prepared to react to what happens in front of us.
I know there was a strategic element to your build out from when you got here. There were times, especially when you were 6-4 last year, when I wondered if the unspent salary cap space that you had available to you that you didn't use was a source of regret to you. I guess what fans want to know now, and you're right about free agency, the downside of it is you're guaranteed to overpay. It's part of the definition of it all. But fans are curious, is this the year that financially there is going to be an all-in kind of mentality?
Well, I think with that, I think every time that we have a decision to make, and when it comes to roster building, free agency is a big one. Free agency and the draft are 2 of the biggest roster building tools that we have, and they're coming up here. They just happen to be back-to-back in the season. And so, yeah, we have cap space this year. We do. We have the ability. It gives us flexibility to go out there and see what makes sense for building our team. But I think with everything is there has to be it has to be done with the right judgment. And you said it, Bick. Like free agency, it's an overpay because it's a market, and it's not like you walk into a store and say, hey, this costs $10. Well, there's 5 other people that may want that item, and all of a sudden the $10 item becomes $15. And does that mean that the $10 item is all of a sudden better than that use? That's just what the market says. And so, and free agency, it's tough because we can't pick up the phone and call Team X and say, hey, tell me about this guy, because we don't know if that team wants to keep him, how they value him. And so there's a lot of challenges that come with free agency. And so we are going to be active in free agency. We absolutely are, but we're going to be smart about it, because every decision that we make, you sink resources into one area, it affects the other areas of the team where you can't put resources into other areas. So absolutely, we're going to be active. We're going to look for every avenue to improve the team. But we have to be smart about not only this year's team as we build for the future, and play our own players that we've talked about that we want to extend. That all goes into it. And so it's not as simple as saying, hey, let's go on a shopping spree. It's got to be measured. It's got to be the right decisions. It's got to be right for the team now and into the future.
One of the other avenues, obviously, is trades. And I won't ask about a specific player. People read the headlines about what's going on. Does it make sense to go down that avenue right now for the Arizona Cardinals, to give up premium draft capital to get an established mega superstar to join this roster?
I think that really depends on the situation. It depends on the player. It depends on the cost. But I think we will, I think we've shown that we're not averse to trading picks for players. We'll look into every avenue that makes sense and helps to improve our team. And then you just have to make that decision. You have to make that decision, as with anything. Hey, do the resources of that trade and that player is going to cost? That's going to affect building other areas of the team. And so in some instances, that's going to be worth it. Other instances, it's going to affect the other part of the team too much. And so absolutely, we're going to look into every avenue to improve our roster. And if the right situation presents itself, we won't shy away from striking.
All right. So it was weird because across football, there seemed to be really varying viewpoints on how your offensive line performed last year. What are your thoughts?
I thought our offensive line played well. I think for us to be able to run the ball like we did, really from the start of the year to the finish of the year, for us to control them like that's not easy to do as the season goes on. Pass protection, I think with pass protection there comes some. We had some moving parts in there with Jonah Williams getting hurt and then working hard to come back. Beach stepping in there and playing when he did. Will Hernandez going down. A rookie, Isaiah Adams, stepping in there. And then we had some guys that were in there wire to wire. I think for that group to play the way they played, but I thought our offensive line played well. Was there things that we can do better? Absolutely. There is. And I think with that group growing together and continuing to ascend, but I think our offensive line as a whole played well together from the start of the season to the finish.
Going back to the evaluation process for the draft, I'm curious, you and your staff, when you consider all the elements, what do you prioritize? I mean, there's game tape, obviously, on all these prospects. There's combine workouts. There's interviews. What's the most important part of that for you when you're evaluating a prospect?
Vince, it is always going to come back to the tape. It's always going to come back to the college tape. And so, when we look at trying to paint the picture of what a player is, and we have a lot of tools that go into that. Obviously, I just said the college tape is the vast majority of that. We just got done with the All-Star game process, saw players put in different competitive situations. We're going to get a chance. We've started the interview process with players. We'll continue that next week at the Combine. So that's part of it, just understanding the personality, the mental makeup, how smart the player is. I think an undervalued part of it is the medical. The medical is a huge part of what goes into these players. Like there could be a really good player, he's got a medical issue, that it's going to be a short-term player. And so I think all of those things go into what we try to do this time of year. We're at the next step of it. The Combine can fill in a couple of those holes here going forward. But in the end, where we sink most of our resources, most of our time, that has really started our evaluation of this year's draft class really began last year, the day after last year's draft. Our scouts have been working on this year's draft class. And so it's been a long process to get here. We're the finish line is near. We still got a little ways to go, but a lot goes into that, and then the college tape being paramount in our evaluation.
Are you worried at all about losing any key pieces? Primarily a guy like Kaiser White, who your defensive coordinator named his son after.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we got a lot of free agents that we would like back, and so those discussions will happen here in the next couple of weeks. Certainly we have guys like Kaiser's one of them. Was a team captain for us the last 2 years, but he's one of many free agents that we're going to have discussions with, and that goes to that point of trying to get that marketplace, and there's going to be 31 other teams that are trying to get these guys too, and so that's going to be a challenge for us as we try to build our team for the 2025 Cardinals, and so those are guys that we certainly will want back on our team.
Monty, that was a quick 2 segments.
Yeah, you're fantastic,
covered a lot
man.
of ground. Thank you so much for coming in. Always good to visit with you, and best of luck this offseason.
You bet. Thanks, guys.
Monty Ossenfort, the general manager of the Arizona Cardinals, joining us in studio. We'll continue our Cardinals discussion. Coming up, Michael Bidwell, the owner of the Arizona Cardinals, will join us for Newsmakers Week here on Bickley and Murata Mornings. Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Wolf and Luke, middays 10 to 2.
I fully acknowledge it's the position they may be in, but it's not typically how you get better by trading a guy that, as he just said, is your best player and your hardest workers. What do you think they need to get back?
Does Houston still have
They do.
Picks?
They do.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
I need 3 first-round picks, and I need a really good young player. Because if you trade him to Houston, Houston's probably going to the NBA Finals next year. And I would bring that up in negotiations.
Okay.
You're getting Kevin Durant.
There you go.
I'm putting you in the NBA Finals.
Somebody's going to work, and he's going to score the basketball.
Wolf and Luke, middays 10 to 2 on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Golf Galaxy Performance Center is now open at Ahwatukee Foothills Town Center. Visit your new #1 golf destination to try the latest clubs from Callaway, TaylorMade, Titleist, and Ping. Explore new styles from brands like Travis Matthew, Bad Birdie, and Walter Hagen. Dial in your game with our expert services, including lessons, club repair, and more. Plus, earn points with every purchase when you sign up for Scorecard. Learn more at golfgalaxy.com/Phoenix.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here, and if you're wondering why would I drive to Walt's TV and Appliance if I'm looking for a big screen television, why wouldn't I just head on down to my local big box store? I'm going to tell you a few different reasons. Number one, there's no membership fee at Walt's. Number two, you're going to get great expertise. Walt's has been serving the Valley since 1957. They're a Valley institution. Number three, you're going to get a great experience. When you get to Walt's, they have all the inventory you're looking for. It's all in stock. They've got big screen televisions that will blow your mind. If you want to go really big, they've got a 115-inch television in their theater room. You can go and check that out. They've got a great selection of outdoor televisions, great selection of audio components. You put the right combination together, you as a sports fan will have magic. But finally, the price. The price at Walt's is exactly what you would expect from the big box stores when you're also getting great installation options and all that expertise. And for proof, they will price match. Bring them a price you like, Walt's will match it. They'll provide you with 30 days of price protection after the sale. And finally, when you're at Walt's or on the phone with Walt's, make sure to drop my name. You're going to get another incentive. You're going to get 10% off installation or a 3-year warranty for free. You can find Walt's off the I-10 and Warner right behind the IKEA, or give them a call at 480-968-4999. Shop local, shop Walt's.
In celebration of Arizona being the 48th state of the Union and Ford trucks being #1 in sales for 48 straight years, Sanderson Ford is celebrating President's Day with a presidential sale on 848 new vehicles. Net A with savings of $4,800 or more.
Save up to $4,800 on Bronco Sport Badlands. Save up to $10,000 off on F-150, STX, and XLT trucks. And save up to $10,000 off on full-size Bronco Badlands. Sanderson Ford also has 25 quality pre-owned vehicles to choose from, priced at $25,000 or less.
Shop with no hassle, no pressure, and no nonsense, and see why Sanderson Ford is America's most awarded Ford dealership for complete customer satisfaction. Don't miss the Sanderson Ford Presidential Sale.
Offers on 2024 models and include Ford rebates, Sanderson discounts, and Conquest cash and flex buy discounts you must qualify for. See dealer for details. All offers expire March 3rd, 2025.
Golf responsibly with Bad Birdie Juicy Golden Ale from Four Peaks Brewing, Arizona's #1 craft brewery. Bad Birdie Juicy Golden Ale is easy to enjoy with subtle notes of passion fruit, orange, and guava flavors and a crisp, refreshing finish. Whether you're enjoying a round of golf or kicking back with friends, Bad Birdie Juicy Golden Ale is perfect for any occasion. Check out Bad Birdie Juicy Golden Ale from Four Peaks Brewing at your local restaurant or retailer. Golf responsibly.
So you're in pretty decent shape, but okay, as we get older, we lose a step. Totally natural part of being a guy. And at Vital for Men, we got your back by helping you get it back. Testosterone replacement therapy is designed to make you feel powerful, sharp, and renewed. Get started today with a free test at one of our 3 Valley-wide locations. And on top of that, we're excited to offer semaglutide to support your health journey even further. Visit Vital4Men.com today. Vital, the number 4men.com. It's time to get it back.
The President's Day sales event is still going on at your Valley Chevy dealers. If you're shopping for a car, truck, SUV, or crossover, certified, pre-owned, or even electric, you owe it to yourself to check out your Valley Chevy dealers. Live life bigger in a new Blazer, or the award-winning Equinox, or the roomy and dependable Trax, where versatility meets agility. Don't miss out on the chance to drive yours away. See your Valley Chevy dealers or visit valleychevy.com. Together, let's drive.
I'm Fred Khalil with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Team USA and Canada played a thrilling final in the Four Nations face-off final. The game played before a raucous crowd in Boston's TD Garden had fans on edge all night. The two sides went back and forth before Team Canada won in overtime 3-2. We're not going to have to wait long for more international play. The Winter Olympics are next year in Italy. The Suns returned from the All-Star break and lost their 4th straight. Last night in San Antonio, the Spurs prevailed 120-109. Royce O'Neal had a career-high 27 for the Suns, who are struggling now 3 games under 500. They've lost 7 of 8 this month. Next up, the second of this 5-game trip in Chicago Saturday afternoon. You can hear that one here on Arizona Sports 98.7 with tip-off at 2 o'clock. College basketball this weekend. Arizona will host BYU tomorrow night in Tucson. Both the Cats and Cougars are 18-8. Sunday, ASU plays at Kansas State in a Big 12 matchup. The Diamondbacks open Cactus League play this weekend with the first of two against the Rockies at Salt River Fields at Talking Stick in Scottsdale. Corbin Burns will be on the mound this afternoon. Both today and Saturday start at 1:10. Tomorrow's game will be on ESPN 620, the first of 9 spring training broadcasts. This report is brought to you by APS. Visit APS Solutions for Business for your ways to help your business make smarter use of energy while saving money. Schedule a free consultation today.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Newsmakers Week with Bickley and Marotta Mornings. The Arizona Cardinals.
Wrapped up 2 segments with the general manager of the Cardinals, Monty Fort, and now we're joined in studio by the owner of the Arizona Cardinals, Michael Bidwell, kind enough, and brought gifts too.
Yeah, he did.
Baked goods. Michael, good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Great to have you, Michael.
Welcome to Newsmakers Week.
Thank you.
I started the conversation with Monty the same way I'll start it with you. What sticks with you about the 2024 season that's kind of in your craw that you feel can be corrected moving forward for the Cardinals?
Well, that we were in first place of the NFC West, and we let it slip through our grip, and that we are so close. And you look at some of those games that we lost that were one play, one penalty, one ball bouncing the other way. We're so close, and this is such a competitive division. With a few more pieces this offseason, I feel like we've got the right combination of coaching, players, roster to take the next step.
All right, it's been a couple years since you ripped the Band-Aid off, as you said a couple years ago, and now you've brought in Monty. You've got a coaching staff that's returning with both coordinators. Describe from your vantage point what you like about this leadership crew you've got now. Give us your assessment of them 2 years in.
I think the entire organization has bought into both of their visions. I mean, you can see the locker room has bought into what Coach Gannon's philosophy is, and the culture of our locker room it's palpable, and you can see it, and the players believe in themselves and in the process. I think with Monty, it's inside and outside the organization. People have a lot of confidence in the decisions he's making, and he's making some great decisions. He's going to make some of those over about the next 30 days or so. We're going to add a lot of talent to the organization, and then about 60 days from now, we're going to do the same thing with the NFL draft.
Bick talked about the continuity in the coaching staff. Certainly that was the case from year 1 to year 2. Now, Jonathan Gannon and the organization did have to replace some coaches that moved on to other opportunities. How do you see the new coaches fitting into that vision, Michael?
Well, I think JG took a lot of time making sure that he identified the right types of coaches that were going to buy into his system and that we're going to fit in. We wanted to make sure that the folks that came in, sometimes you can hire folks that are sort of set in their ways. He took his time to make sure we picked the right coaches. So I'm very confident in this new crew, and I'm excited to see what we do.
Yeah, it should be exciting times ahead. All right, let's do a little heavy lifting here. You've been hit with a couple of lawsuits from former employees, latest from your former personal assistant. There was that ESPN story a while back that had fans thinking, okay, is this a Robert Sarver thing all over again? How do you respond to this, Michael?
Well, look, it's a privilege to be in this position and in all these positions. And just like in the entertainment industry and CEOs of businesses and CEOs of sports teams and owners, there are going to be times where things come up where people make allegations. And you've got to go through the process. Sometimes it's a more lengthy process. But we're going to defend this. We strongly deny all these allegations and look forward to the process so that we can stand our ground, make sure we defend ourselves strongly, which we will. And then oftentimes you see the reality is much different than what's alleged, and allegations are simply that, just allegations. So we look forward to moving forward, and it just comes with the territory here, and I understand that. And there are going to be critics out there, et cetera, and we're just going to keep focusing on building a great organization, a great team.
As you know, workplace culture is so under the microscope in America in 2025. It has been for about the last decade, really, at the forefront. How would you, through your eyes, describe the workplace culture with the Arizona Cardinals? And do you think you're a difficult or an easy boss to work for?
I think it's excellent. I think there's a perception outside the building that a few people want to carry on. I think we've gone through a lot of changes over the last couple of years and brought in new leadership, and I'm excited about the leadership team we have, both on the football and on the business side. Jeremy Walls, our Chief Operating Officer, Sean Mayo, our Chief People Officer. We've done a great job of building out a culture, and when you come over to our Business Operations Center, you see that every day. And so we're excited about that culture. They're doing a great job. We've had a tremendous sales season. We've sold about 3,500 new season tickets since we finished the season, which is incredible. Wow. And so we're focused on making sure that State Farm Stadium, going into our 20th season, is a home field advantage for the Cardinals. We've seen too much of that. It's an area of focus that we've had for the last couple of years, and we made sure that we're selling to Cardinals fans. And so I think you're going to continue to see us build on that.
Yeah, and I want to get into the tickets as well because anytime you look at lists, Arizona sports franchises, they're always among the most reasonable ticket prices in their respective sports. But whenever there are ticket hikes here, fans go crazy. And so you've had some of that. We've heard from some of them. What would you like to tell fans about ticket prices?
Well, I think we continue to be among the most affordable team in the National Football League, but is everything else, and we've seen inflation, and it's impacted our business too, the sports industry as well. And so we've got to continue to keep up, and we're trying to offer more value when we do that. And you look at the improvements that we've made to the stadium, about $300 million over the last several years, and we're going to make even more. You look at the food choices, you look at all the experience, especially the game day entertainment. You're seeing a lot of changes there, and so we're investing back into the game day experience, into the roster and everything else. But we look at our pricing and we try to evaluate it year in and year out, but also understand we're among, as you said, the most affordable in the National Football League.
Michael Bidwell, the owner of the Arizona Cardinals, our guest in studio for Newsmakers Week. Staying along those lines, last offseason, you unveiled the plan, and the plan came to fruition for the casita seating and the premium field seating. And there was two reactions to that from the fan base. I'm sure you heard it. Some people said, wow, that's really cool. I'd love to be in one of those. Other people said, what about those end zone fans that got displaced? Now that you're a year into this, what was the reaction? How successful was the casita program?
They were incredibly successful. The field seats were incredibly successful. Some of those folks got moved from the end zone to the sideline, and they were happier with their seats. And so what we've got to do is we've got to look at this holistically, is what's best overall in terms of keeping the stadium fresh and in terms of keeping it competitive. And so we're going to continue to make changes to improve that experience. And it's just not at the higher end. It's all throughout the stadium. So you're going to see improvements made in the terrace level, our upper deck. You're going to continue to see. Last year we made a bunch of changes with adding in locally owned different food, brands into our concession stands at all levels, at all price points. People are going to see even more of that this year. And so, I think it's a great experience at State Farm Stadium. We continue to sell it out. We're going to try to, keep this a great experience and continue to reinvest in it.
Michael Bidwell has been kind enough to give us two segments in studio for Newsmakers Week. We're going to take a quick break. We'll continue our conversation with Michael straight ahead here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Get all you need to know about our NBA franchise with Kellen Olson and Kevin Zimmerman on the Empire of the Suns podcast. Empire of the Suns. On the Arizona Sports YouTube channel, or find it where you get those other podcasts that you listen to.
All right, a little Sonic trivia. Did you know Sonic started as a root beer stand in Oklahoma way back in the 50s? Back then, you had to park in a gravel parking lot, cross a busy thoroughfare, placed your order from a little tiny takeout window. They handed you a brown paper sack, and there you go. That was your experience. The experience at Sonic changed dramatically over the years. It is super cool. One of the reasons I love Sonic, you pull into a shaded parking spot. A great menu is right outside your driver's side window. You place your order. You don't have to move a muscle. You're being served curbside by an iconic car car hop. Piece of trivia number 2, Reba McEntire loves Sonic. In fact, her nickname, and I know this for a fact, her nickname is Tater Tot, and her favorite tater tots are at Sonic. One of many great side items you are going to find on that menu. Lots of reasons to head on down to Sonic when you're hungry. Live free. Eat Sonic.
We all could use more time. Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions, so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. I can see why they call it smart. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Lowe's knows that free is just better. That's why MyLowe's Rewards is free to join. As a member, you earn points towards MyLowe's money on eligible purchases, get exclusive free gifts, and earn free shipping at Silver Key status, all on top of weekly member-only deals. Don't wait. Join MyLowe's Rewards for free today and start saving more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, I hear Staples can print it all for my business. Oh, if you can think it, Staples can print it, and will beat any print quote. Oh, great. I'm thinking new brochures and yard signs? No problem. I'm thinking calendars, t-shirts, and pens. Totally. I'm thinking Staples is the place for printing. I thought you might think that.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
At Robbins, these 1 carat total weight natural earrings are $27.95. Diamond Dave price $1,600. At Shane, this 3 carat lab grown bracelet is $2,400. Diamond Dave's only $1,800. At Tiffany, this 1.26 natural engagement ring is $22,100. The same with Diamond Dave, $8,300. Let me say that again, $22,100 in a blue box. Save almost $14,000 with Diamond Dave. Look, I don't say this to be snarky. These are real numbers. With our by appointment, wholesale office, direct importing, in-house design and manufacturing, it's easy to save you hundreds, even tens of thousands of dollars when compared to retail. And it's not just about pricing. We've been and continue to be the go-to for thousands of people for 35 years. It's Diamond Dave to save big time on quality diamonds in natural and lab grown.
Call Diamond Dave at 480-397-2450 or follow him on Instagram at Diamond Dave, KANTOR.
If you're feeling overwhelmed by the thought of a home remodel, don't stress. The Window Depot is here to help. At the Window Depot, we're your one-stop warehouse for everything you need for your next remodel. Windows? Check. Doors? Got it. Cabinets, countertops, and everything in between, you'll find it all here at the lowest prices. Whether it's a kitchen, bathroom, or whole home makeover, our experienced designers are ready to bring your dream home to life, all at unbeatable prices. Find a location near you or shop online at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Newsmakers Week with Bickley and Marotta Mornings. The Arizona Cardinals.
We continue our conversation with Cardinals owner Michael Bidwell, who joins us in studio for Newsmakers Week. Let's get into the Kyler Murray discussion. We talked about Kyler with Monty Ossenfort, and I think it was a decent season for Kyler. There was some good. There was some not so good. Bick has used the word divisive, and certainly in our conversations, polarizing. Among the fan base. What are your thoughts as the guy who signs the checks of what Kyler Murray is and what he needs to become?
Well, what he is he's a dual threat quarterback, and when he's healthy, he scares every defensive coordinator, and he has a chance to change the game with his feet and with his arm. And so, we've done I think Monty's done a very good job of building a running game, building a strong offensive line. Although we had a bunch of injuries at offensive line last year, I think that's what we've got to do. It was his second year in Drew Petzing's offense, and when you look at it, I feel like we've got to continue to rely on him, and he's got to play at a high level. He knows that. He's working hard. I see him in the training facility continuing to work, even in the off season. He's been back in there, and so I think he needs to take the next step. and we're excited about our future with Kyler. He's a great quarterback. You look around the rest of the league. There's so many teams that would love to have Kyler Murray, and so I think we need to continue to build around that offense for him. Drafting Marvin Harrison last year, continuing to build out that offensive line are going to be keys to his success.
So a lot of fans are wondering if this is going to be the offseason where there's going to be a big free agency splash or whatever. You talk to Monty, and you see Monty's very conservative, and he's right. You overpay in free agency. It's not always a real good thing. But as somebody who has written many, many complimentary columns about you and your competitive nature and how you've wanted to bring this team to a higher level, how bad are you still burning to win? Are you still ready to pay whatever it takes to win a Super Bowl?
Well, when you look at it, we can't pay whatever it takes because we have a salary cap system.
Well, that is
true.
Okay. That is true.
So, yes, I mean, when I look at it, it was super frustrating last year. But we've got to manage ourselves within the cap system, and we've got a lot of cap space. What we're not talking about this year is, Are we going to be able to re-sign Budda Baker? Are we going to be able to re-sign James Conner? Are we going to be able to re-sign Zaven Collins? We've addressed those things. So the question is, we've already started. And I think the answer is we've already started. When you look at what Monty's done throughout the season, is extending some of our core players that we needed to get extended, rather than waiting for free agency and let them test free agency. Let's get that done early. Obviously we're going to be very interested in getting Trey McBride re-signed to an extension. He's such an incredible player on the field, a Walter Payton Man of the Year off the field, and a great locker room guy. And I think his leadership is going to be an important part of our future in the locker room as well, and he's prepared to lead. So I think we're going to go out there. You're going to overpay in free agency. That's just the fact of life in the NFL, and so we got to see who's out there and what the circumstances are. Monty's making all those decisions. He's got the keys to the franchise in the football personnel and roster building world, and so we have regular conversations about it. And so we just got to see who's out there and how they're going to fit in, and make sure we don't overpay by too much to where you're regretting something down the line.
Yeah, in terms of the year to year, and I think that's a discussion that probably happens year to year depending on where your team is, but with the growth, with the improvement in the win column, with obviously the forward momentum under Jonathan Gannon and Monty Ossenfort, is there going to be less restriction this year? I mean, I kind of asked that question, but is your philosophy determined by that, the timetable of where your team is in reality in that time?
I'm not sure what you mean by less restriction.
More
because they haven't been restricted.
No, but sometimes it makes more sense to go for it than other times. Does that make more sense?
Yeah. Okay. I think
Does it make more sense to go for it now with where the Cardinals
we've got
are?
cap space.
Yes.
And we had some cap space, but it didn't make sense with the players that were out there last year. That Monty wanted to focus on.
Gotcha.
So, but we think that there's going to be some real opportunity this year, and we're going to see who's out there and what we can get done. But also, we need some of these players that were on injured reserve. We had 18 players on injured reserve last year to come back. Let's not forget about B.J. Ojulari, who's going to come back and be a dominant player for us. We've got a lot of players that are going to be coming back. So we want to build through the draft. Free agency is sort of supplement with, and that's going to continue to be the plan. There are going to be some opportunities in free agency, and I'm hopeful that in next 2 or 3 weeks we're talking about those additions and the excitement around how we've filled some holes in our roster.
And you might want to draft this Cam Scatteraboo kid. I hear he's pretty popular out here.
So he has been an amazing player to watch as a fan of ASU, and the ASU program is what an exciting year, and it was tough to see.
How about it?
Not advance.
All right, so I know you're very proud of the stadium. You basically made that happen. It's hosted many Super Bowls, which has been fantastic for the Valley. In fact, the funding mechanism now the Diamondbacks are trying to copy so they can keep their baseball stadium sort of going. You mentioned the fan makeup. You want to get more Cardinal fans. We all want that. We want that vibe back in that stadium.
Oh, yeah.
That's got to bother you.
Yeah, absolutely. And we, as I said earlier, we feel like we've addressed it. We're addressing it. We're not going to be able to get every fan out of there, but or every visiting team fan out of there, I should say. But it drives us crazy, and we're making sure that we're really targeting those areas to sell tickets to the right Cardinals fans there that aren't going to be reselling their tickets. And so I think we've identified that.
Are there ways to do that?
I think there are. Yes.
Okay.
Michael Bidwell, the owner of the Arizona Cardinals, in studio with us for Newsmakers Week 2025. When you zoom out away from the Cardinals league-wide, obviously you're one of 32 owners in the league. Overall health of the league and what is maybe something that's an issue in the league right now that is at the top of your concern list, if anything?
I think it's, you look at the SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. I think that there are always the threats out there, but I think I look more at the opportunity. And when I look at it, I think, the thing that we need to be talking about is, the continued growth of international. That's going to be important. Hand in glove with that, I think, is going to be the 18-2 regular season, preseason split. We obviously have to have discussions with the Players Association around that. I'm on the CEC. But I think that's, our commissioners talked about it, is wanting to see that done. And so hopefully, we can in the future years, be talking about that. That's going to be a real opportunity just to grow the sport. I think the other thing that we're all talking about that's super exciting is flag football, women's flag football. We've got it here in our state. We're the first team to televise games for women's flag football at the high school level. It's in 2028 going to be an Olympic sport at the LA Olympics, flag football. We're going to have, I think, you're probably going to see NFL players playing flag football in the Olympics, and maybe that, which would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I think, when we look forward, that's going to be the way that I think we grow the sport internationally, because we're starting these leagues, flag football leagues around the world, and people are starting to learn this great sport of American football.
On the subject of broadcast distribution for the league, obviously, I'm of the age where I grew up and it was on regular television. Then it shifted to cable. Now we're seeing the streaming. I've complained about it, Michael. It's a little confusing, sometimes hard to find games. Is that wave ever slowing down or stopping as we move into the future?
No, and gentlemen, I hate to break it to you guys. We're all in the demographic that we're the old guys now.
Yes,
so,
we are.
We are. Your kids are what we're really focused on is the future fans of every future customers of corporate America, but. I think you're going to continue to see streaming. We're going to try to make it more accessible to fans, and that's the way that the broadcast industry is going. We've talked about this going to digital. It's been going for a long time. It's the way to and you look at what we did with Netflix and Christmas Day. It was incredible, and so more fans, more reach around the world. I think it's great for football, and it's going to continue to go in that direction.
You guys as a league, you're fantastic at creating great television. You do lots of tweaks to keep the product as compelling as possible. Do we have an officiating problem in the NFL?
Well, I think we can improve in every area, and we continue to make improvements in that area. And I think the competition committee and the league office is continue to use, including technology and rules changes, to address those questions that come up around officiating.
But you've been around the game for a long time. There's never been a time where the fans collectively thought, wow, that was great officiating. It's always been a complaint. I mean, isn't that the reality of the situation?
Right. And
and the whole thing with the Chiefs, everyone perceived they were getting preferential treatment.
It happens. It's just one of those things that you can change the names of the teams year in and year out, and so it was a different team in the AFC a few years back.
It was, yes.
Okay, and so I think you can look at these things and just see, hey, can we do better? We can do better in everything that we do, and that we try to do better.
Yeah.
All right, you've been very generous with your time. You've given us a couple of segments on the way out. Is there anything else you'd like to say? Anything you'd like to highlight about what you're doing?
Well, I think I'm super excited about what we're doing on the field and off the field. We're going to be doing a number of things with our Cardinals Foundation, where we're recasting that in the 2025 season. We've got some other improvements to facilities and changes that we're going to continue to make, and I'm excited about our future. We're building for the long term, both on the roster, but also as an organization with our facilities and everything else. So thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you, Michael.
To echo Dan, thank you so much for being generous with your time, Michael. We appreciate it.
Sure thing.
Michael Bidwell, the owner of the Arizona Cardinals, joining us in studio for Newsmakers Week, which rolls on. The Friday edition of the Bickley Blast is straight ahead. It's Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Burns and Gambo, afternoons.
Basketball Reference believes that it's going to take 42 wins for you to get to the 9th or the 10th seed in the NBA's Western Conference. That would require the Suns to go 16-12 against the toughest schedule remaining in the NBA.
I don't think it's impossible.
I don't think it is either. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's not impossible. I don't think it's going to happen because of the schedule, and just quite frankly, I don't believe in this basketball team.
Burns and Gambo, afternoons 2 till 6 on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Are you ready to buy your dream home? Well, before you start packing, there's one crucial step. Get pre-qualified. Getting pre-qualified is like your VIP ticket to the housing market, speeding up the entire process. We do more than just crunch numbers. We analyze your financial situation and fully underwrite your pre-approval. So there's no last-minute surprises. Don't miss out on your dream home because you chose the wrong mortgage partner. Get your free pre-qualification today within 24 hours. Go to lundmortgage.com.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Hey, it's time to put some presidents back in our wallets during the President's Day sales event going on right now at our Desert Ford dealers. Paul Calvisi here, and take that 2024 Ford Escape, made for the everyday, ready for your getaways. And right now, you can get a Ford Credit Flex Buy with 1.9% APR Ford Credit financing for 66 months, plus $2,000 in Flex Buy cash when you buy a new 2024 Ford Escape during the President's Day sales event. Hey, you're looking for the perfect work truck or maybe a powerful weekend warrior? Ford is the #1 selling truck brand in Arizona. And right now, even better, Ram owners get 3.9% APR financing for 60 months, plus $5,000 cash back on a 2024 Ford F-150, XLT, and STX when you trade in your Ram. But hurry, time is running out on the President's Day sales event going on at our Desert Ford dealers. Click buyfordnow.com. Based on S&P Global Mobility Retail U.S. new vehicle registrations for the truck vehicle type, CYTD October 2024.
If you love pizza and basketball, you should really mark your calendars for the night of Wednesday, March 12th. Hey, it's Vince Marotta. And what is Wednesday, March 12th? That is the next Phoenix Suns watch party going on at Spinato's Pizzeria, Gilbert location at Agritopia. The Suns will be taking on the Rockets at 6 o'clock. Big screen TVs will have all the action all throughout the restaurant. The Gorilla's going to be there. The Suns dancers will be there. And you'll have the chance to win game tickets, gift cards, and other great prizes. It's also the next divisional round, actually the final divisional round of the Spinato's Pizza Competition. It's a game just like horse. So if you want to show off your shooting skills, get into the competition, and win that competition, you'll get tickets to the Suns' April 11th home game and a shot on the court during a timeout to win Spinato's Pizza for a year. You can get all the info on the watch party, reserve your table, and register for the pizza competition at Spinato'sPizzeria.com. Spinato's Pizzeria, food that brings people together.
Dave Burns back here with Jimmy V, founder of V's Barbershop, and a heartfelt congratulations on 25 years of V's.
Well, thank you, Dave.
You think back to 1999 when you opened the first one, and we were talking a second ago. Luis Gonzalez hadn't happened yet. Kurt Warner hadn't happened yet. Heck, Tom Brady was still in college. A lot has changed. You walk into a V's Barbershop, you wouldn't feel like anything has changed, and that's a real testament to your vision when it comes to these.
I think we kind of nailed it. Men are still the same. You know,
we're just dudes. We're just guys. They want to go in a place that makes them feel comfortable. They want to go see the same barber. They want to have the same experience. They want their kids to have that same experience. I want V's to be that place that is a comfortable pair of jeans. It's the Saturday sweatshirt. It's the place that I feel good about going to. Man, this puts a smile on my face. Going in, even bigger smile coming out. You're going to remember your barbershop.
So put a smile on your face. Go to vbarbershop.com. Book a haircut or a hot lather shave today at V's.
KMVP FM Phoenix.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
On the Arizona Sports app and on 98.7.
I'm Fred Khalil with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. February has not been kind to the Phoenix Suns. Entering last night's game in Austin, Texas against the Spurs, the Suns lost 6 of 7 games this month. Make it 7 of 8 as the Spurs beat the Suns 120-109. Spurs star Victor Wembanyama is out for the season with a blood clot in his shoulder, but San Antonio's new guy, De'Aaron Fox, looked pretty good. Scored 26 points in the Spurs win. Royce O'Neal had a career-high 27 for the Suns. Kevin Durant had 22. The Suns play tomorrow in Chicago and Sunday in Toronto. Both games right here on Arizona Sports 98.7. Tomorrow's game tips off at 2. Sunday in Toronto at 3 o'clock. The Four Nations face-off final lived up to the hype as Team USA and Canada played an overtime thriller in Boston last night. Canada's Connor McDavid scored the game winner in OT to give Canada the 3-2 win. Canadian goaltender Jordan Binnington of the Blues made some big saves, stopping a couple of guys with Valley connections in Austin Matthews and Brady Tkachuk late in this one. The Diamondbacks open Cactus League play this weekend with the first of 2 against the Rockies at Salt River Fields in Scottsdale. Both today and Saturday start at 1:10. The new guy Corbin Burns will be on the mound this afternoon, and tomorrow's game will be on ESPN 620, the first of 9 spring training broadcasts. This report is brought to you by Asset Preservation Wealth and Tax. Set yourself up for retirement success. Schedule your free portfolio review at AssetPreservationWealth.com and get the insights you need today.
Bickley and Marotta Mornings. Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
In yet another too blessed to be stressed locker room where there is no passion or anger or burning desire to win basketball games, Kevin Durant said something remarkable. He said there's beauty in the struggle. Well, you can give me the Hubble telescope and a pair of big eye binoculars, and I wouldn't find anything redemptive about this team or this season, and certainly nothing that resembles beauty. Last night's loss to the Spurs, for me, went even deeper than most. Devin Booker continued a mystifying, passionless season in progress. The head coach continued a baffling deployment of players, and the Suns lost to the Spurs, who didn't have Victor Wembanyama. What is left is a very heavy question that's going to get even heavier. How big does the teardown need to be? Trading Kevin Durant is an inevitability at this point, but you might have to look at tearing this thing down to the studs and trading Booker as well, because this team needs more than an alpha leader and better defense and a bigger heart. They need a future, and we need a light at the end of this long, dark, hideous tunnel. All right, today's Bickley Blast brought to you by my great friends at Chapman BMW, who make luxury attainable. Find them online at chapmanbmw.com.
Yeah, that's frustrating, but I still had a great time. That's not going to sour the mood of me coming back here and playing in front of this incredible crowd. You know, it was loud and energetic the whole night. I'm just very grateful for all the love that I've received from this region of the world in the last 20 years, 15, 20 years. So wish we could have walked out here to W, but I still had fun.
That is Kevin Durant on his return to Austin, playing as a pro after he played his college basketball season at the University of Texas, and that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's everything that's wrong with this basketball team. Nothing is going to soil the love I felt from my fans.
Yeah. When does the mood get sour?
Yeah.
This is not an attack on Kevin Durant.
No, we're not saying it is.
This is not limited to Kevin Durant.
No, it is not.
This is it seems like a team-wide attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Just got to come out and watch this one away and Get back to work tomorrow.
Well, listen, going into the All-Star break, we were all very, very angry at what we saw. And I know that I put my hand up and said, this team's I'm now in the Kellen Olson camp. This team is going no place fast. And then, the All-Star break happens, and then the weekend happens, and then you build up to a game, and then that candle of hope gets lit all over again. And you're hoping against hope that this team will find some desperation, that this team will find some cohesion, that this team will stop the sloppy, reckless play. And it's just it's not changing. And the fact that these post game, I'm telling you, I'm starting to trip more on what these guys are saying after games than what these guys are not doing during games. At what point do they get as angry about the results as we are?
I don't think that's. I mean, the divide right now, at least publicly, which, if you want to laud the Suns for keeping an even keel publicly, that's fine. I've talked about this before. I know most of the fan base that is frustrated wants to feel the connection of frustration with the players, with the team that is providing that frustration.
That's it.
And that's just not happening right now.
I've also got a fear. This occurred to me the other day, and bear with me on this. So as a kid who grew up in Chicago and a kid who spent most of his childhood in Wrigley Field, I covered the Cubs when the Steve Bartman playoff series happened. And I remember Cubs were up 3-1. They went to Florida, and their ballpark, the Marlins ballpark, was overloaded with Cubs fans who thought, hallelujah, the inevitable is about to happen. And that day, Josh Beckett went inside, went high and tight to Sammy Sosa, shut that team down. Oh, it's okay. We've got Mark Pryor and Kerry Wood going in games 6 and 7 at Wrigley. We'll get this. Then the Steve Bartman thing happened. And since I knew Wrigley like the back of my hand, I knew exactly where he was going to exit the stadium. There's a catwalk that's underneath the right field bleachers that, if you go to Wrigley a lot, you know these things. You see some things. I went down there to see what would happen. And sure enough, Steve Bartman was being led out by security. There was a jacket over his head, and he was walking on that catwalk. Down below him were about 100 Cubs fans, just full of vitriol and awfulness and the things they were saying and throwing things up at him. And I sat there and I said, what the heck has happened to this fan base? What has happened to this city? This used to be the lovable losers. Look at what's happening to them. The torment of not winning, the torment of getting close and having it all slip away. It turned that fan base into a vicious group of fans. And I worry that's happening with the Phoenix Suns and their fan base. I'm worried that everything that they have gone through has kind of got them devouring each other.
So if you're sitting courtside, don't interfere with any foul balls because they might turn on you.
But you do understand the analogy, right?
Yes.
Matt Ishbia is the one guy that did that with the ball.
That's right.
You talked about the candle of hope, and let's go back to last year, which most people that have watched the Suns, and yes, there's recency bias involved here, but most people that sat through the experience of the 23-24 Suns where they got swept out of the playoffs in the first round, they would chalk that up to one of the most frustrating seasons they had witnessed. We talked about it in real time when we took calls on it. That team won 49 games. That team did light the candle of hope at the end of the year. How many times did we use the phrase 10-game gauntlet to end the season to see where they were going to end up?
Yeah.
And they finished brilliantly, showed the ability to finish brilliantly, to avoid the play-in, to get the 6th seed. And then things went south.
Yes.
They ran into a buzzsaw of a matchup, and they got beat thoroughly in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
There's been no candle of hope.
No.
I guess if you really want to grasp at it, and you brought this point up earlier in the week, we are one unbelievable pass from Royce O'Neal and one unbelievable shot from Grayson Allen from an 8-game losing streak right now.
And the hard part of the schedule hasn't even gotten here yet.
No, this was supposed to be. Look, for a team like this, there's not any soft landing spots on the schedule because of the deficiencies they have.
Right.
But when you look at San Antonio without Wemby, a team that's behind you in the standings, Chicago, Toronto, it gets really tough on the back end of this road trip in Memphis, a team that just is a nightmare matchup for the Suns. But I started to grab the matches to light that candle of hope, thinking they should come back from this road trip 31-29. They can still do that, but there's no reason to believe it.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Like, what needs to happen? Recharge the batteries. James Jones said the break came at a good time for the team. He felt it. And then, he's talking about careless turnovers, and you see 48 minutes of careless turnover basketball again.
Yeah. It is really, really mystifying that this team can't self-correct some of these issues, and you wonder what. And even from a head coaching standpoint, it's like. I get Mike Budenholzer wants to coach this team and nothing else, and I know that he doesn't want to be a media presence and all that kind of stuff. But at one point, isn't it normal for a head basketball coach to stomp his foot at some point in time? I can't believe what I'm watching. I really cannot believe what I'm watching. And a lot of people say the same thing. How can a team with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker be struggling like this? It's a very simplistic question. We can sit here and list the nuanced reasons why this roster is flawed and why this coach is not working out and all that. But it's one of the more baffling things I've ever seen. It really, really is.
We got a lot of guests for Newsmakers Week, so we don't have a lot of time for Suns talk today.
Yeah.
But we talked about changing the starting lineup. I asked James Jones yesterday about Bradley Beal maybe moving back into the starting lineup. Now that the trade deadline's behind you, that didn't happen last night. Tyus Jones remained in the starting lineup, played almost 23 minutes. And Tyus Jones has developed a reputation of, among Suns fans, as being a very, very weak spot defensively. And when he's going 1 for 9 from the floor and 1 for 6 from the from 3-point range with 3 assists in a game, how do you justify that? And not that that's been the norm, but it's been more normal than you'd like.
Yeah.
He's struggled at times offensively. If he's not picking up the slack offensively, what are you doing? Why is your best rebounder on the bench for 3/4 of the game? Why is your best perimeter defender on the bench for 47 minutes and 40 seconds of the game when you're getting torched on the perimeter?
That doesn't make any sense to me either. It really doesn't.
So the deficiencies are there. Those are not going to be solved with anything more than concerted effort by a group. But you got to help those guys out, too, by putting, my favorite phrase, putting them in positions to be successful.
Wow.
It's
That was a rough one for me last night. And like I said, when I heard the news of Victor Wembanyama, deep vein thrombosis, and let's hope he can get this issue resolved and under control with blood thinners and all it's going to take, because he is really, his future is immense. But without him, that is especially if you're desperate, that is a game you've got to win.
Yes. And there was there was stretches of desperation, but it was not thorough throughout. Coming up next, we continue Newsmakers Week 2025, Day 4. We will have an in-studio visit by the one and only Valley sports legend, Jerry Colangelo, who joins us next. Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Cactus League is underway.
Now the 0-1 pitch. Swung on. That is absolutely crushed. Deep to right field. No doubter. Ketel Marte take a swim in the Allegheny.
Spring training coverage presented by Estrella Jalisco and Window Depot. The home of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
Hey, it's Pat. The other day at work, they brought in pizza for lunch, so I swooped in and I grabbed 3 slices. The coworker next to me said, "Geez, Pat, you can't have it all." Then I corrected him and said, "Yeah, I can, and you can too. With a new 2025 Toyota truck. Power and performance, capability and reliability." Well, I must have convinced him because he grabbed the plate out of my hand and he said, "Good point, Pat."
Right now, get 1.99% financing for 72 months on a new 2025 Tundra SR or SR5. Or get 4.99% 60-month financing on a new 2025 Camry or Tacoma. Plus, check out great lease deals on any new Toyota. Visit your Valley Toyota dealer or valleytoyotadealers.com today. Toyota, let's go places. 1.99% with $14.75 per thousand borrowed for 72 months. 4.99% with $18.87 per thousand borrowed for 60 months. 0 down payment if you qualify. Offers end 3/3/25. See dealer for details.
Every day, reliable, comfortable, connected. Every day you rely on power. At APS, we work around the clock to deliver some of the most reliable power in the country. But with Arizona's extreme weather, outages can happen. Stay safe and informed with alerts by keeping your contact information up to date. And visit our outage center for updates online or on the APS app. For more ways to stay safe and informed, visit aps.com/outage. brighter.
Hey, basketball fans, Tom Chambers here reminding you that just like in a game, you need a solid defense for your home. And that starts with a reliable roof from Right Way Roofing. Hey, Lori, as owner of Right Way Roofing, what sets you apart from the competition?
Our team tackles any roofing challenge, from shingles to tile to foam roofing. We'll make sure your roof wins against the toughest opponents, rain, wind, and even those scorching summer days.
Make Right Way Roofing your MVP.
We're Right Way Roofing and we do it right. We'll always keep you watertight.
Dave Burns here with Liberty GMC General Manager Chris Scott. Chris, I hear there's a special for Arizona sports listeners, an AC tune-up for only $69?
That's right, Dave. Of course we do. We know how important it is to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape. And right now, when you buy 3 tires, you get the 4th free. Plus, this month you can lease a brand new 2024 GMC Terrain for only $289 a month for 36 months.
Don't wait. Shop and buy online all the time at libertygmcaz.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
Hey, it's Gambo. Back to tell you about the Schwartz Laser Eye Center. Dr. Jay Schwartz did the LASIK surgery on my eyes over 15 years ago, and to this day, my vision has never been better. I see great at night, in the day, up close, far away, no glasses, no readers, and this is 15 years later. Dr. Schwartz offers the best in advanced LASIK technology, as well as other surgical laser procedures, such as the clear lens exchange and the EVO ICL. Whether it's nearsightedness, farsightedness, and astigmatism, or any other eye care issues, the Schwartz Laser Eye Center can help improve your vision and change your life as he did mine. There is a reason he is the official eye doctor for the Phoenix Suns and Arizona Diamondbacks. The Schwartz Laser Eye Center has 3 valley-wide locations, one in Glendale, one in Scottsdale, and one in Mesa. Schedule your free LASIK evaluation by calling 480-483-EYES. That's 480-483-EYES, or going online at teamidoc.com.
Hey, it's Luke. How did Kevin Durant perform in his return to Austin, and how did the Suns look in their return from the All-Star break? We'll be reacting to Suns Spurs at 10 a.m. It's Wolf and Luke on Arizona Sports.
Bickley and Murata Mornings continues on this Friday as we're putting the wraps today on day 4 of Newsmakers Week. We had Michael Bidwell in studio, Monty Ossenfort in studio during the 7 o'clock hour. And we're going to get to some recap of that. We're going to reschedule Jerry Colangelo. Little shift in the schedule, a little behind. Yeah. So we're gonna talk to Jerry Colangelo at 8:45. But Michael Bidwell came in, and the way you started the conversation when the tone shifted, and obviously Michael Bidwell is in the news for a couple of reasons. Obviously, he's always in the news as the owner of the Arizona Cardinals, induction into the Arizona Sports Hall of Fame this year. But he's in the news, too, because of another lawsuit that has been filed against him. Yes. He called it heavy lifting. And, look, nobody wants to talk about those things. They're unpleasant things. I will say this. I appreciate Michael Bidwell being, willing to listen to those questions and answer those questions. And it's a difficult situation. You can't say much because it's litigation. But I asked the question about workplace culture. And I asked the question about, do you find yourself to be a difficult boss to work for? And he gave his answer. I think there's got to be some concern there when this continues to pop up. The Terry McDonough thing is not quite over. The lawsuit's been dismissed and it's been handed over to an arbitrator. This lawsuit is still active. I wonder how widespread this could get.
Well, that's why I asked him the question about it. When you factor in the fact that the Terry McDonough thing happened, and then now the former personal assistant Brittany Neuheisel, when you factor those in, and then you factor the fact that there was a long ESPN piece
November of 23
that painted a damning picture of workplace culture, it did begin to feel very Robert Sarver-esque.
It did, and I had that feeling when that article came out in November of 2023 that. Check the byline. Was this Baxter Holmes writing on the Suns? Because it kind of did have that feel to it.
So I think it's relevant. When I mentioned Robert Sarver, you could see a look of incredulity come across Michael Bidwell's face, like, no, this ain't that. And I hope that this isn't one of those cases where it's, you peel back and then there's more, then there's more, then there's more. But it would have to be a concern. And it's kind of why why I thought it was interesting that when Michael Bidwill stepped up and hosted that game for the Rams during the wildfires, that Roger Goodell and the entire NFL went out of their way to really praise Michael Bidwill. So it didn't seem to me to be the
according to the lawsuit, not the entire NFL.
Well, yeah, again, but that's an allegation as well.
It is.
That's an allegation as well. That
Yes.
The fact that Michael Bidwill was fuming that Stan Kroenke didn't come and thank him personally, I don't know about that. I mean, really? I mean, you've got everybody in the world congratulating you, and you're worried about that? Okay, so I'm not sure about the validity of that, but I will say this, that at some point in time, you know how sports leagues work. In the NBA, if one dude like Robert Sarver is creating all these negative headlines, and then he gets the commissioner on his bad side, like Robert Sarver did with that very ill-timed attempt at humor during a eulogy of a former business partner. You remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, right. So
it was awkward.
And it was his attempt to be funny.
Yes.
But when you heard it, and if you're Adam Silver, you're like, this is not the image we want to project. We don't want to. Yeah, and you know exactly the examples I'm talking about.
I've been there.
What's that?
I've been there.
Okay.
Try to be funny in it.
Yeah, right. So it comes down to, it's like a house of cards. If there's enough that get piled, eventually it topples. And does the commissioner and the other owners, do they look at somebody and say, we got to get this guy out? That isn't happening yet.
No, because I think among the other owners, Michael Bidwill is still very respected and revered. And that was something that started under his father. And, and his father, Bill, got a lot of criticism from the fan base about how he ran the business and how he ran the competitive football operations, and they weren't competitive for a lot of it. And he was thought of as a bad owner on that front. He was a very popular and respected owner around the league. And I think that's kind of baked into what a lot of the league owners see about Michael right now.
Yeah,
and look at the
players.
Look at the examples of, and there has been a couple of examples of owners that have been shown the door by the league. Daniel Snyder, he never had the commissioner on his side. Jerry Richardson at a time did, but it flipped very quickly at Carolina because of the severity of the allegations against him. And he was forced out as well. I agree with you from my vantage point, and I think the reality of it is, this is not great headlines, obviously. It's concerning because it could be becoming a trend, but I don't think Roger Goodell looks at Michael Bidwill any differently.
Either do I. No, certainly not at this point. Now, I think there's a few reasons for that. Number one, you talk about the Bidwill family, definitely team players as NFL partners.
Yes.
That Bill Bidwill had a great reputation for always being that kind of guy. Okay. And so I think with Michael, there's the idea that he has hosted multiple Super Bowls that have been very, very well received. He has twice helped host games. Well, I guess the other one was at ASU, so that wasn't really a Cardinal production, was it?
I don't remember the logistics of that.
Okay. But you get the point.
As the NFL team that played in that stadium at the time, I'm sure there was probably some involvement.
Yeah, I'm sure there was some involvement. But there's no arguing that the entire Cardinal operation jumped to it in what would have been an off week for them. And so there is a lot of gratitude for that. And the Bidwill surname, this goes back to the birthplace of the league.
Yeah,
We're not talking about a Johnny-come-lately kind of owner.
No.
We're talking about a heritage name in NFL history.
And let's face it, there's not a lot of those heritage family ownership groups left in the NFL.
No. So I think that that's my thoughts on that. The other thing that I wanted to ask Michael Bidwill about, because I've been asking about this on this radio show for a year now. It's the money, the unspent salary cap space. And you heard him react to your question about restraints, and you heard Monty. You can tell more and more you talk to Monty. Monty really is not a fan of free agency at all.
No.
And I think that's fine and all, but at the same time, your fan base needs to know that you're all in. That this isn't just a money-making venture for you. This is a championship-winning venture for you. And the fact that the way he answered that question reassured me that his priorities, his desire to win, which is always for better, outpaced his father. And I mentioned it to Michael. I've written many columns about the same thing. I wanted to make sure that hadn't waned.
Yeah. Fair
now
question.
Now that he's in the billionaire class, Vinny.
Look, this is going to mark 10 years since the Cardinals were last in the NFC Championship game.
Mm-hmm.
This season will. This is going to be now 4 years since the Cardinals were in the postseason. And that postseason didn't end well in 2021. So I think there's pressure on this team to perform.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think so, too.
We continue Newsmakers Week coming up next. We'll talk some Arizona Wildcats football with their head coach, Brent Brennan. Next, Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
You can't use the old excuse about not having enough storage because we know you've got the cloud. Download the Arizona Sports app and keep it on your home screen for breaking sports news, all the Arizona sports shows and podcasts, plus listen to the Suns, D-backs, ASU athletics, and more on your phone. The Arizona Sports app is presented by Ready Services Plumbing and Air Conditioning.
I could not believe when I visited New Life Dental Implant Center, their facility in Scottsdale, could not believe how many people were getting fitted for a brand new smile. And there's a good reason for that. It's because New Life Dental Implant Center, they're revolutionizing the industry. They offer amazing quality, unbeatable prices, great convenience, everything done in one location. They've got an in-house laboratory, which means faster turnarounds. The process is now 100% digital, which means no guesswork, no human error. It means your implants and your brand new smile are going to turn out absolutely perfect. Their patients experience faster treatment time, quicker healing, less pain and discomfort, and a beautiful smile that is truly life-changing. So if you're the person, if you've always kind of been embarrassed by your smile or by your teeth, this is a great option. Currently offering all-on-4 dental implants for just $99.90 per arch. If you've been in the market, you know that's a great price. No hidden fees, no surprise costs, 0% financing available. For more information, call them at 602-855-0000, online at newsmilearizona.com.
The President's Day sales event is still going on at your Valley Chevy dealers. If you're shopping for a car, truck, SUV, or crossover, certified, pre-owned, or even electric, you owe it to yourself to check out your Valley Chevy dealers. Live life bigger in a new Blazer, or the award-winning Equinox, or the roomy and dependable Trax, where versatility meets agility. Don't miss out on the chance to drive yours away. See your Valley Chevy dealers or visit valleychevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Hey, it's Gambo. Have you been wanting a soft water unit for your home? Now is the time to get one. Christian Brothers is offering a whole home water filtration system starting at just $2,200, and you can even finance it for as low as $50 per month. They want people living in Maricopa County to have complete confidence in the water coming from their taps. So take advantage by calling Christian Brothers at 602-222-3535 or go online at cbrothers.com. That's cbrothers.com.
Born in the birthplace of tequila, Estrella Jalisco is the golden Mexican Pilsner with roots in Jalisco, Mexico since 1910. The finest ingredients are always used to deliver a smooth and flavorful taste with a crisp finish that leaves you refreshed. We're proud to bring you this authentic and delicious Mexican beer, perfect for pairing with food and enjoying with friends. Estrella Jalisco, official cerveza partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
If you have old windows, they are probably driving up your energy bills. Upgrade with new windows from the Window Depot. The Window Depot provides unbeatable value and a wide variety of in-stock and custom order windows to fit your style and budget. With our exclusive SI window brand made right here in the USA, you'll get a full lifetime warranty, including glass replacement, for ultimate peace of mind. Order online at thewindowdepot.com or visit a location near you and start your project today. Experience the best prices, the biggest inventory, only at the Window Depot.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
the Valley of the Sun will roar to life this spring.
This ought to get pretty wild here.
Why is that, you may ask? Because NASCAR is coming to Phoenix, and it's going to be a weekend of good vibes the whole family won't forget. The best-in-class fan experience meets racing's toughest drivers for 3 days of action on and off the track, all surrounded by the beautiful Estrella Mountains. NASCAR Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, March 7th through the 9th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
Need inspiration? Shop Fry's for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Fry's. Fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
We've lowered prices. You can save 15% or more on hundreds of items like Thomas Mini Bagels, Campbell's SpaghettiOs, and more. Fry's, fresh for everyone.
Every day, reliable, comfortable, connected. Every day you rely on power. At APS, we work around the clock to deliver some of the most reliable power in the country. But with Arizona's extreme weather, outages can happen. Stay safe and informed with alerts by keeping your contact information up to date. And visit our outage center for updates online or on the APS app. For more ways to stay safe and informed, visit aps.com/brighter.
Hey, basketball fans, Tom Chambers here reminding you that just like in a game, you need a solid defense for your home. And that starts with a reliable roof from Right Way Roofing. Hey, Lori, as owner of Right Way Roofing, what sets you apart from the competition?
Our team tackles any roofing challenge from shingles to tile to foam roofing. We'll make sure your roof wins against the toughest opponents, rain, wind, and even those scorching summer days.
Make Right Way Roofing your MVP.
We're Right Way Roofing and we do it right. We'll always keep you watertight.
I'm Fred Khalil with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. The Four Nations Face-Off Final was everything fans expected. Canada against the USA in Boston's TD Garden lived up to the hype. The two sides went back and forth. Valley native Brady Tkachuk scored the first goal for Team USA, tying the game at 1. His Ottawa teammate Jake Sanderson made it 2-1, but Canada tied it and went to overtime before Connor McDavid buried the game winner to give Team Canada the 3-2 win in Boston. The Suns were on the road in Austin, Texas to play the Spurs. San Antonio was without Victor Wembanyama, who will miss the rest of the season with a blood clot in his shoulder. But the Spurs' newest acquisition, De'Aaron Fox, scored 26, and the Spurs beat the Suns 120-109. The second of this 5-game road trip is in Chicago on Saturday afternoon, and you can hear that one here on Arizona Sports 98.7 with tip-off at 2 o'clock. The Diamondbacks open Cactus League play this afternoon with the first of 2 against the Rockies at Salt River Field at Talking Stick in Scottsdale. Both today and Saturday start at 1:10. Tomorrow's game will be on ESPN 620, the first of 9 spring training broadcasts. This report is brought to you by Brooklyn Bedding. The President's Day sale has been extended. Get 30% off in-store and online through February 25th. Find a showroom today or go to brooklynbedding.com.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Newsmakers Week with Bickley and Marotta Mornings.
It is Newsmakers Week, Day 4, looking to hook up with Brent Brennan, the head coach of the Arizona Wildcats football program, but having a little difficulty connecting, so hopefully that happens in the next few minutes.
All right, so I got a good question interesting question for you. Doug Heller wrote a real interesting piece for The Athletic, and which is now the New York Times, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about basketball players and their pregame rituals and their warm-ups.
I
And
read about some of that, yeah.
So it kind of focused on Kevin Durant, how Kevin Durant makes sure he kind of builds up a sweat so when the game comes, it's not the first time he's really pushing it. Mm-hmm. And other players have different, things. But the one thing that hit me is the fact that so many dudes now warm up and spend their pregame with headphones or AirPods or earbuds in their ears. Do you think that that's an obstacle to chemistry or cohesion? Because you know what I mean? If a dude is walking, if we had a coworker who was walking around with headphones on, eventually you go, well, I'm not going to bother talking to him because he won't hear me and he's not in the mood to talk clearly. Ever strike you that way?
It is an interesting question, and I hadn't given it any thought until you gave it to me. But now I've got all these thoughts.
Okay, good.
Because the dynamic on this show is we come together as a unit at 5:30 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the studio already prepping. You prep elsewhere. You come in.
Mm-hmm.
If I've got my headphones on and I see you coming, I'm taking my headphones off because that is an indication. Hey, don't bother me.
Yeah. That's it. That's right.
We can get back into this at the end of the show, I think.
Yeah, okay.
This is actually
I think it's an interesting question.
Yeah. We have been able to connect with the head coach of the Arizona Wildcat football program, Brent Brennan, during Newsmakers Week 2025. Brent, thanks for joining us today. How are you?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Hey,
doing
Coach.
well. Going into year 2 of the program, just give us the recap of what the offseason has looked like. I know year 1 didn't go exactly the way you planned or wanted it to go, but what's looking up for year 2 at this point, Coach?
No, well, I think that's the great part about this is you get a great restart after a disappointing season last year. We had, pardon me for my voice, I've kind of had this bug all week.
Everybody does.
Yeah, I'm just getting through it. But, man, this thing knocked me down pretty good. But, yeah, so just getting a fresh start. You know, we added 33 new players when school started here. You know, in the portal world, just that part of it is changing everything so much. And, you know, by the end, when we start fall camp or when we start in the summertime, there'll be another 20-plus players there. So you're looking at changing over, you know, 55 to 65% of your team. And I'm excited about that. I think we're bringing in some great guys. The workouts have been super intense. I love what our strength and conditioning staff is doing. And everybody here is optimistic and excited. You know, we've got good players that chose to stay and continue to, you know, they love the University of Arizona. They believe in each other. They believe in this football program. And so we're excited to move forward together.
One of the interesting things was, I mean, you knew all the disappointment. You knew what the expectations were with that team that had such a great vibe and such great success the year before. But when the season was over, you stood up and you were kind of defiant. You're like, I'm going to get this right. So what do you need to do differently? When it starts with you, how does your approach change? What's going to be new in that regard?
I think we're just, you know, as I look at it, I want to be, you know, the kind of leader for this program that guys feel great about coming to work every day, whether you're on the staff as a coach or a staff member or someone, you know, playing in the program. And I think every day is an opportunity to improve, and our players are attacking it this way. For me, I think there's the consistency of like, this is where we're going and this is how we're going to get there. And it doesn't matter, you know, when we started to identify how we're going to move forward, we just made it really simple, tough, guys that love football, and guys who want to be here at the University of Arizona.
Brent Brennan, the head coach of the Arizona Wildcats football program, our guest here during Newsmakers Week. You mentioned the activity in the portal, and you talked about turning over 65% of your roster, which is a big, big number. But I'm curious now that you've had experience at a Group of 5 school at San Jose State in the portal, and now at a Power 4 conference at Arizona in the portal. Is the process different? Is it less challenging at a school like Arizona than it would be at San Jose State, for instance?
You know, I think the portal, there's an evolution to what's happening in the portal, and it's hard to compare those two things because, you know, there's way more players in the portal now than there ever has been, and there's a much stronger thought for college student athletes of, well, if it doesn't work out here, I'm just going to leave. And that wasn't really the case when I was still at San Jose. I feel like that mindset has accelerated. I don't think it's necessarily a healthy mindset for young people. I think there is a developmental process to getting good at the game of college football. You got to lift and train and struggle and get knocked down and get back up and find a way to keep moving forward. And I think if the athletes keep just transferring and choosing something else the moment it gets hard, I don't think they'll ever reach their full potential.
All right, let's talk about your new coordinators. I know in college football there's a belief that you've got to get that offensive piece down because of the way the game is and the way the sport is on the collegiate level. Tell us about the additions, the changes, and what you think it's going to mean to the program.
Well, I think the addition of Seth Daggy is going to be fantastic. You know, when we went through the process of identifying people that we wanted to talk to, you know, he was one of the guys that was the top of the list, and it was a good process. And I think what happened, the difference was when he came here and spent time with us, talked us through his scheme, talked football, interacted with other guys on the staff. Like there was just an immediate feeling that this was the right fit for our program. Very extremely detailed guy, high energy guy. He's young. He played quarterback at a high level. I like the idea of the guy coaching the quarterback also being your play caller. And I think, when you see what he does in spring practice, when you see what he does when we get to the season, I think people are going to be really excited about it because we're going to be an explosive offense. And that's what he's done, and that's what he knows how to do.
And Danny Gonzalez, defensive coordinator, Sun Devil fans in this area are very familiar with him when he was here at ASU. He's a dynamic guy. What does he bring to that staff in the new position, Brent?
Well, I think just elevating Danny, right, gives us some consistency of leadership. That's one of those things that I think it's challenging in sports, is that every time you have a disappointing season, the world wants to completely change the leadership. And sometimes that leads to a lot more struggle because the consistency of leadership is one of those things that gives you a chance to move forward with the same messaging, the same belief structure, the same work ethic, the same idea and concept of how we're going to do this together. So I feel good that a lot of the same pieces are in there. I think Danny's experience as a play caller, having done it for years and years and been around, such a fundamental part of that Rocky Long defense, I think that's something that's going to give us an edge.
All right, finally for me, how are you guys doing on the NIL collective? I know that that can, be hit and miss with the moods of some of the top donors. Where are you at right now with that, Coach?
I think our donors have been incredibly supportive. And I think if you're going to be competitive in the new era of college football, you have to attack NIL. And we need people to continue to step up. I think that's one of those things that's so interesting is everybody says, well, I'll donate when you win. Well, actually, it goes both ways. We need people to donate so that we can win.
Yeah.
But so many people have stepped up and contributed in meaningful ways. I'm super appreciative of them. And I'm looking for more people that want to get with us and move forward with this thing together. I'm not going to look backwards. I'm looking forwards.
Brent Brennan, our guest here on Newsmakers Week 2025. Before we let you go, you're going to have one of your players' names called in the first round of the NFL draft, Teteroa McMillan. Probably two in the first round, but focusing on Teteroa McMillan, who's just a nightmare watching him play against Arizona State for the last couple years. What type of player, what type of person is an NFL team getting in Teteroa?
People are getting a big-time player and person. I think that's one of the things that really impressed me with T-Mac is, even with the ups and downs of this season, like his work ethic, how he interacted with his teammates, the consistency of how he showed up for practice and game day, week in and week out, never wavered. Even knowing that he was a high-level draft pick, even knowing that every time he stepped on the field, he risked, getting injured and the normal stuff that football players risk when they step out there, it never wavered. And that part of it was so impressive. And on the football field, he's totally unique. He's a 6'4", 212-pound guy, 6'4 plus, who can, has incredible leaping ability, great timing, and, his short-range quickness is like that of a much smaller player. He's one of the most rare football players that I've ever coached just because I've been, my whole life I've spent time around great wide receivers. That's been kind of my calling card, but he's really special, and whoever gets him is going to get a big-time football player and a big-time person.
Brent, I want to say thank you for spending some time with us. Good to catch up, and best of luck this offseason.
Thanks, guys. Great seeing you all.
Brent Brennan, head coach of the Arizona Wildcats football program. He joined us via video on Newsmakers Week from Tucson. Coming up next, we will have our conversation with Jerry Colangelo, Valley sports legend. It's Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
You can't use the old excuse about not having enough storage because we know you've got the cloud. Download the Arizona Sports app and keep it on your home screen for breaking sports news, all the Arizona sports shows and podcasts. Plus, listen to the Suns, D-backs, ASU Athletics, and more on your phone. The Arizona Sports app is presented by Ready Services Plumbing and Air Conditioning.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Are they promising you up to 10% growth per year guaranteed for your retirement income? If not, you need a new financial advisor. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hard-working folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 up front or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. don't work when you're supposed to be retired. And if any financial advisor tells you it's too good to be true, they simply don't have the options we do. Call Trajan today at 480-990-3300.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
While many companies are offering one cash offer for your home, how do you know you're getting the best offer? It's very easy with Carol Royce, your home sold guaranteed realty. Sellers who want to consider a cash offer can sell fast and with certainty with Carol's guaranteed multiple cash offers program. Carol will bring 3 to 6 offers with at least one at 100% of market value, or Carol will pay you the difference. Call Carol Royce today or visit carolhasthebuyers.com. That's carolhasthebuyers.com. Terms and conditions apply.
In celebration of Arizona being the 48th state of the union and Ford trucks being #1 in sales for 48 straight years, Sanderson Ford is celebrating President's Day with a presidential sale on 848 new vehicles. Net A with savings of $4,800 or more.
Save up to $4,800 on Bronco Sport Badlands. Save up to $10,000 off on F-150, STX, and XLT trucks. And save up to $10,000 off on full-size Bronco Badlands. Sanderson Ford also has 25 quality pre-owned vehicles to choose from, priced at $25,000 or less.
Shop with no hassle, no pressure, and no nonsense, and see why Sanderson Ford is America's most awarded Ford dealership for complete customer satisfaction. Don't miss the Sanderson Ford Presidential Sale.
Offers on 2024 models and include Ford rebates, Sanderson discounts, and Conquest cash and flex buy discounts you must qualify for. See dealer for details. All offers expire March 3rd, 2025.
Bunker to Bunker is celebrating the return of spring with their 3rd annual Spring Fling 2-person scramble golf tournament on Sunday, April 6th at Augusta Ranch Golf Club. With proceeds benefiting PGA Hope, the event is loaded with prizes, raffle, breakfast, and a special sneak preview of Augusta Ranch's spectacular Top Tracer Range practice facility. There's even a coupon for a second round of golf, all for just $110. It's open to the public, but space is limited, so register today at bunkergolf.com.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Newsmakers Week with Bickley and Marotta Mornings.
We continue Newsmakers Week here on this Friday, our final day of Newsmakers Week 2025. It is our pleasure to welcome in Valley sports icon, the one and only Jerry Colangelo, joining us in studio for 2 segments. Mr. Colangelo, great to see you. Thanks for making your way down. Appreciate it.
Well, it's great to be here this morning. Thanks for the donut. Thanks for the water. It'll help wake me up.
It's the least we can do. I want to start with the biggest burning question I have to you with your massive involvement in GCU athletics. I want to get what the reaction has been to having Dan Bickley as part of the broadcast crew of GCU basketball on television broadcast this year, Jerry.
Well, I think he's been well received from things that I've heard, and I'm happy for him. I think he has the ability to not only write, and he's very good as a writer, as a columnist, etc., but also the gift of gab.
Yeah.
He can talk.
He's a Renaissance man.
Oh, yeah, something like that. Thanks for embarrassing me like that, Vinny. I appreciate that.
Wanted to get that out of the way early.
All right, so I want to talk to you about the Suns, just from your perspective of team building. You know, Matt's done a lot of great things. He's been very respectful to you and what you've built. He's done a lot in, building a new facilities and all that stuff. The team building element. What did you learn about how to properly build a team in the NBA, making the pieces fit? Because it's not just putting talent together, as you well know.
Well, it takes people to make those decisions. I came from a different perspective. I had played, I had scouted, I had coached, I had managed. And so it was just it was in my blood. It wasn't a fan.
Right.
And so if you come from the fan perspective, and I'm just generalizing, it's different. So I think you need to have an organization of people you believe in and trust in. And I think what they're going through, I think what Matt's going through is a learning process. I mean, what else could it be when you think about it? He had some basketball in his background, being on the squad at Michigan State and close to Tom Izzo, who's a great guy. He's a friend of mine. And he is a fan. There's no question about it. I think maybe when he first bought the team, he wanted to make a little splash, which was kind of customary when people take over an organization. And in retrospect, he may have done the same thing and maybe not. But again, he has to learn sometimes the hard way.
Yep.
And so I believe in him in terms of the long-term future of the franchise because he's committed. He's committed to the team. He's committed to the city. So he'll get through the learning process to some degree, and things will be better. Because I think everyone had higher expectations,
Yes.
Yeah. For this season. And there may have been some questions in terms of the bigs, even before the season began. Mm-hmm. And that turned out to be an issue, and a big one, in my opinion. It's the old story. You can't have 5 shooters. You better have somebody who can handle the ball, deliver the ball, and rebound the ball. Mm-hmm. And so it's putting pieces together, and I think that's all part of a learning curve for anyone who comes into the NBA, which is so competitive.
Yes.
It's very competitive.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So I think this will get better for sure.
Yeah, I'm curious, too, from your vantage point, and you said make a splash, and Matt Ishbia certainly did make the splash with the Kevin Durant trade, I think on his second day as the owner, and then he followed that up with the Bradley Beal trade. In your involvement with the Suns, whether it was general manager as the owner, with your son Brian as the general manager, when you made those big swings, whether it was trading Larry Nance to Cleveland for Kevin Johnson, it wasn't popular at the time, swinging for the fences with Charles Barkley, those things worked out for the better for the Suns. But how much in terms of guts does it take to make a move like that? It can't be the easiest process to go through.
Well, you can't worry about making a big decision. You do what you need to do. But I need to correct you. We traded Larry Nance to Cleveland, not just for Kevin Johnson.
Yes,
It
Mark
was
West.
Ty Corbin,
Yeah.
Mark West, and a first-round pick
Yes.
that turned out to be Marley. So it was quite a
Great trade.
haul for a terrific player. We took our best player. I mean, here was the decision. We had hit kind of bottom, and we've only done that in the history of the Suns 2 or 3 times. But very quickly we rebounded within a year. And so we took our best asset, Larry Nance. I loved him. But when you look at what we got in return, the worst thing you could say is it was a great trade for both teams. But I know what it did for us. You think about what transpired with the people we've received. So you have to be willing to – you don't worry about I'd never worried about the downside. You've heard me say this before. From where I came from and where I started, I was never afraid to go back. I could always go back and do the same things I used to do in the old neighborhood. But in the meantime, I'm going to do it the way I think it should be done.
One of the things you don't get enough credit for in retrospect among all your achievements was when the NBA began floundering aesthetically, when the 87 to 82 games, and then David Stern tasked you with bringing a committee and solving this issue, and you did, and it led to a much more exciting, aesthetically pleasing form of basketball. The results speak for themselves. Now we're at a point where people are saying, too many three-pointers. This isn't good. What are your thoughts on the aesthetics of the NBA game right now, and are there course corrections that maybe are necessary?
I think there are some changes that need to take place. I think when we changed the rules you were relating to, it was because the game had slowed down. There was isolation basketball. No one understood the defensive guidelines, so we had to speed up the game. We needed more scoring and shooting, better shooting, because percentages were down. So when we had the committee meeting at the Phoenician, great basketball minds who were there that I selected to be on the committee, we decreased the amount of time to advance the ball past half court from 10 to 8 seconds. We did away with isolation basketball. We did away with the defensive guidelines. We basically allowed the zone without legalizing the zone. And so things did improve. The other thing that happened is that the guards had a chance to play again. They used to get into the lane and they got hammered.
That's right.
So for a long time, it was really good. The three-point shot is a different story because I was part of bringing it in. I remember Red Auerbach and myself were the two individuals, the basketball people, at an owners meeting at the Del Coronado Hotel 100 years ago, it seems, when we were explaining, we didn't have a ball. And Franklin Muley, who was the owner of the Warriors,
yeah.
Did you ever see him with that hat on he used to wear?
Right.
Red actually grabbed his hat, and we used that as a prop. That was the ball.
That's
and we
fantastic.
were. It was a funny scene, but we really thought this. We thought bringing the three-point play in would give us an opportunity to a home run effect at the end of the game, or if you're behind late in the game, a chance to come back. We never thought it would become what it's become. This has become the main feature of the game. When you see guys pulling up for jumpers 3-on-1 and they're the one, I mean, it's unbelievable. So the game has changed to such a degree. I think that has to be addressed.
I mean, that obviously got passed back in 1979 and adopted in 1979, and you as part of that process. Was there a lot of opposition to it?
Not really.
No.
No, I think my recollection is that it was not.
Because they had it in the ABA at that,
Yeah.
The ABA was gone by then, but they had featured it in the ABA, so it wasn't
Right.
totally foreign.
Correct.
Jerry Colangelo is with us in studio for Newsmakers Week. He's going to stick around for another segment. Lots more ground to cover with the Valley sports legend himself, and we'll do it after this here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Suns up.
Spurs win it tonight in Austin, 120-109, the final score at Moody Center on the campus of the University of Texas. Suns have lost 4 straight now to fall 3 games below 500 at 26-29. They're now 10-18 on the road.
We talk about this Suns L today on Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
Why do 80% of NFL players have a Sleep Number smart bed?
Matthew Stafford here with the LA Rams. Because when I get high-quality sleep, I make high-quality plays. But that's not the only reason.
Hi, me, Kelly Stafford. I'm the other reason. He likes his side firm and cool, and I like my side soft, warm, and cozy.
Sleep Number does that and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side, your Sleep Number setting.
You're the number one reason, by the way.
And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com. Official sleep and wellness partner of the NFL.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
We could all use more time. Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. I can see why they call it smart. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here. If your backyard is kind of cringy, if it keeps you from having company over on the weekends, don't worry, don't fret. I've been there. Everyone's kind of been there. My friends at Turf Monsters, they can come to your rescue. Turf Monster is a one-stop shop that can build you that backyard of your dreams, whatever you're looking for, from fire pits to barbecue pits, patios to pergolas. If you've always wanted a beautiful green, sparkling lawn, they are a leading installer of artificial turf in the valley. It looks fantastic. All of their turfs are of the highest quality. If you're a golfer, they can build you a state-of-the-art putting green. You can go check out some of their work in that regard. They are fantastic. In fact, they did the putting course at Dobson Ranch. If you want to go check that out, beautiful state-of-the-art putting greens. What could be better than practicing your short game in the comfort of your own home? Whatever you want, they can get that done. They've got a great reputation for staying on schedule, for professionalism, for truly caring about your happiness. You can also get 12-month interest-free financing. Schedule your free estimate online at turfmonstersaz.com or give them a call. Tell them I sent you. 623-323-3900 for Turf Monsters.
Hey, Wolf here from my brothers and sisters at Santan Ford. That's right, you've heard me talking about my Santan Ford F-150 and the Warrior Queens Expedition and how we are Santan Ford. Well, if you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, do yourself a favor. Go check out the hundreds of new and used vehicles at Santan Ford. Located at the Santan 202 in Val Vista in Gilbert, Tim Hovick and the great team at Santan Ford will take care of you. Go to santanford.com. I am Santan Ford.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Hey, it's Gambo, and I'm here with Stuart Willis, the president of Asset Preservation Wealth and Tax. Stuart, we just had a change in administrations. How does that affect your clients' portfolios?
Well, you know, it's a question we get asked all the time. People want to know, should we invest here? Should we invest there? You know what I say? We use multiple money managers because we don't really know what the direction is going to go, and they all have different ideas. I think it's important to be diversified, to make sure that you have a group of competent money managers that can make those decisions.
So being diversified isn't just having your money in stocks and bonds, it's making sure that multiple money managers are looking at your portfolio so you are completely taken care of. Call Asset Preservation Wealth and Tax at 602-877-PLAN or go online at assetpreservationwealth.com for a free portfolio review. That's assetpreservationwealth.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, and SEC Registered Investment Advisor.
KMBP FM Phoenix.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
On the Arizona Sports app and on 98.7.
I'm Fred Khalil with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. If you like hockey, then you probably love the Four Nations Face-Off Tournament. And last night's final between Team USA and Canada did not disappoint. We didn't have the face-off fight, but rather exciting, fast-paced play from both sides. Scottsdale native Brady Tkachuk tied the game at 1-1. His brother Matthew didn't play in the third period or overtime because of a lower body injury. Tied at 2 after regulation, Connor McDavid scored the game winner for Canada, 8:18 into OT, 3-2 the final. Tough night for the Suns in Austin, Texas, taking on the Spurs. The Suns lost their 4th straight. Last night's final was 120-109. February has not been kind. The Suns have lost 7 of 8 this month. The second of a 5-game road trip is in Chicago on Sunday. You can hear that one here on Arizona Sports 98.7 with tip-off at 2 o'clock. Cactus League games start today for the Diamondbacks. They'll play the Rockies today and tomorrow at their facility at the Salt River Fields at Talking Stick Resort. Both games are 1:10 start time, and Corbin Burns will get the start today. College basketball, ASU plays at Kansas State on Sunday. BYU is at U of A tomorrow. This report is brought to you by APS. Visit APS Solutions for Business for ways to help your business make smarter use of energy while saving money. Schedule a free consultation today.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Newsmakers Week with Bickley and Marotta Mornings.
Blessed to have a second segment with Valley Sports icon Jerry Colangelo in studio for Newsmakers Week, our final day of Newsmakers Week 2025. Covered a lot of ground with the Suns, with the NBA. Wanted to get your thoughts, Jerry, on the Arizona Diamondbacks. When last regular season ended for the D-backs, there was a lot of animosity between the team, between the county about what was going to happen with Chase Field. And as the man who brought the Diamondbacks to life, it looks like things are in a much better place. We talked to Derek Hall about it earlier this week, and it looks like there is a future there. But how important is it in your mind to keep the Arizona Diamondbacks downtown?
Well, it's very, very important. You know, way back when, you know, we could have gone to some other locations, but I insisted it was going to be downtown. I believe that's where the team should play. Why? Because all roads lead to downtown. Also, I was really concerned about other businesses and people benefiting from having a team downtown. You know, the restaurants, the bars, the retail. You know, some owners opted to go in the suburbs, have their own piece of property. Who gained anything from that other than them?
Yeah.
And that was not my mindset. It was more about what's good for the community, along with where we thought it would be best. All roads did lead to downtown Phoenix when you think about it. And so, I still think the football stadium should have been downtown along with it, and it would have been a grand slam. So, years take a toll on facilities. They just do. There used to be a time when, you could have a building that was 75 years old, and that's all you had. You didn't have a choice, like the old Chicago Stadium.
Oh, yeah.
By way of example. But that's not the case today. And here, with the sun, the heat, etc., I think that timetable moves faster. So there's a lot of work to be done on the building. The building, I believe, still belongs downtown for the Diamondbacks. I'm happy that they're making some progress. And all I know is what I've read and what I've heard. Nothing on the inside, but I think there are some people who are amenable to making things happen for them. And I think it's good for everyone.
Yeah, I do too.
I heard a great story from your first, I believe it was the first Christmas party you held after bringing the Diamondbacks here, and you were going to give away a $5,000 prize to one of your employees, and you had a raffle, and the person who won it was so happy. I think you turned to Joe Jr. and said, "Let's do another," and then let's do another, and you gave away 4 $5,000 gifts. Is that true? Do you remember that?
Yeah, well, we did a lot of things for the employees, which I thought, that's just the way I've always managed, things that I've done. You take care of the little guy. That's so important. A lot of years have gone by, and there are still some people who worked at the ballpark or at the arena, and I'm not around that often, but when I do, I bump into people, and they never forget. They never do. So I did it my way. There's a song somebody sang like that.
Rings a bell.
Yeah,
some Italian guy. And that was just my style to throw a party for all the employees and give them opportunities. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
You are also very instrumental in bringing hockey to the desert once upon a time when the Coyotes are here. And I don't think we've spoken to you on the show since the Coyotes left town. What kind of effect did that have on you personally?
I didn't like the fact that we lost anything, in terms of our community. And it's unfortunate the way the whole hockey thing not started, but how it all developed. And there's a long story there. And look, I had interest in hockey before we built the arena. And I had conversation with Ziegler, who was then the commissioner of the NHL. And I said, I need to know, what's the opportunity for NHL hockey in Phoenix? He says, not in your lifetime. I said, well, it's important because if that's not a possibility, I want to build the most intimate seating arrangement ever for basketball. Proximity to the court sells.
Yes.
Okay, intimacy sells. And so as a result of what he told me, we were going to always put in an ice plant for the ice show and minor league hockey.
Yeah.
And so we go and build what we said we would do once we were told that the NHL was not a possibility. And almost immediately we get a call from the NHL. They want to play a few exhibition games. They liked it. Gary Bettman becomes the commissioner, who was a good friend of mine. He was a basketball guy working for David Stern at the time. And he called and said that a guy named Green, who had the Minnesota team, was interested in moving. And he wanted to take a look at Phoenix, and he's going to go to Dallas also. So Green came in to see me in my office, and within about 3 minutes, he said this to me, and you can imagine, Beck, how I responded. He said, so what are you going to do for me? And I said, what am I going to do for you? I'll tell you what, I'm going to be a landlord. That's what I'll do for you.
Right.
So a few minutes later, he left. He went to Dallas, and that's where he moved his team. I get another call from Bettman. He says Winnipeg's on the move. And he told me about the two individuals who were going to lead the charge. They wanted to meet. We did meet. I talked to them about the obstructed view seats in the corners and the history, the whole thing. I said, no, this will be fine. This will be fine. Well, as soon as we made the deal and blah, 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 and I was happy to bring hockey to the Valley, there were complaints about the seats in the corners. Okay, and we had no choice. We had a small footprint in terms of where the building was on the city block. So then, of course, eventually they had it up to their eyeballs and made a deal with Elman to sell the team. And this is really funny. I'm not going to be specific other than this. After a little bit of history where they tried to build something in Scottsdale, that didn't work. And now Elman didn't want the team anymore. He was more interested in real estate, not the team or the sport. Mm-hmm. He came to me. He says, you can have the team for $1. And I said, I don't want it. I said, what about the $25 million you're losing annually?
Yeah.
That's the real key.
Yeah.
And so that led to the whole thing in Glendale.
Sure.
Which at the time, in my opinion, we didn't need another arena. We had a very good, beautiful new arena, and there's no reason to have that kind of competition. There was not.
Yeah.
So anyway, sometimes you can't control everything, and obviously hockey did create some support here. There were people.
Definitely.
That's one thing about hockey fans. They are diehard fans, and it's sad that it's not here anymore.
I agree.
And I know Gary Bettman fought the battle for a long time. He tried to protect Phoenix, and it just didn't happen.
Hey, you talk about that downtown corridor. Even with those obstructed seats, that's the only time that hockey team was really, truly relevant and truly had a buzz.
And here they are 30 years later in a new state playing in a facility with obstructed seats again.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's come full circle.
Well, thank you, Legend. We really appreciate your time and your insight and your wisdom and all that stuff.
Well, it's always nice to be with you guys. Thanks for the donut.
Oh, it's the least we can do.
All
Maybe
right.
the most we can do. I don't know.
It depends.
All right, guys.
Jerry, great to see you. Thank you so much. The great Jerry Colangelo joining us in studio for Newsmakers Week. We'll get a wrap on the 2025 WM Phoenix Open with Chairman Matt Mooney. He'll join us next on Newsmakers Week here on Bickley and Murata Mornings. Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Wolf and Luke, middays 10 to 2.
Would it benefit the Arizona Cardinals to have a wide receiver, a veteran wide receiver, like an Amari Cooper, who has actually done some things in this league?
I feel like it would immensely. It takes some of the pressure off Marvin Harrison Jr., but I don't want that to make it sound like you're okay with him being your number 2 receiver at that point. You still need him to be like a bona fide, no questions asked number 1 receiver.
Wolf and Luke, middays 10 to 2. Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Hey, it's Gambo, back to tell you about the Schwartz Laser Eye Center. Dr. Jay Schwartz did the LASIK surgery on my eyes over 15 years ago, and to this day, my vision has never been better. I see great at night, in the day, up close, far away, no glasses, no readers, and this is 15 years later. Dr. Schwartz offers the best in advanced LASIK technology, as well as other surgical laser procedures, such as the clear lens exchange and the EVO ICL. Whether it's nearsightedness, farsightedness, and astigmatism, or any other eye care issues, the Schwartz Laser Eye Center can help improve your vision and change your life as he did mine. There is a reason he is the official eye doctor for the Phoenix Suns and Arizona Diamondbacks. The Schwartz Laser Eye Center has 3 valley-wide locations, one in Glendale, one in Scottsdale, and one in Mesa. Schedule your free LASIK evaluation by calling 480-483-EYES. That's 480-483-EYES, or going online at teamidoc.com.
Golf Galaxy Performance Center is now open at Ahwatukee Foothills Town Center. Visit your new #1 golf destination to try the latest clubs from Callaway, TaylorMade, Titleist, and Ping. Explore new styles from brands like Travis Matthew, Bad Birdie, and Walter Hagen. Dial in your game with our expert services, including lessons, club repair, and more. Plus, earn points with every purchase when you sign up for Scorecard. Learn more at golfgalaxy.com/Phoenix.
The President's Day sales event is still going on at your Valley Chevy dealers. If you're shopping for a car, truck, SUV, or crossover, certified, pre-owned, or even electric, you owe it to yourself to check out your Valley Chevy dealers. Live life bigger in a new Blazer, or the award-winning Equinox, or the roomy and dependable Trax, where versatility meets agility. Don't miss out on the chance to drive yours away. See your Valley Chevy dealers or visit valleychevy.com. Together, let's drive.
So you're in pretty decent shape, but okay, as we get older, we lose a step. Totally natural part of being a guy. And at Vital for Men, we got your back by helping you get it back. Testosterone replacement therapy is designed to make you feel powerful, sharp, and renewed. Get started today with a free test at one of our 3 Valley-wide locations. And on top of that, we're excited to offer semaglutide to support your health journey even further. Visit Vital4Men.com today. Vital4Men.com. It's time to get it back.
Right now, somewhere in Arizona, somebody just paid way too much for a new AC unit. Don't let that be you. For the month of February, Precision Air and Plumbing will beat any apples-to-apples conventional quote from any licensed contractor, and we'll give you the #1 ranked installation in the state. Present us with any quote from 2025, and we'll beat it. But act fast. This deal won't last forever. Call us today at 602-FIX-MY-AC.
Decision with Precision Air.
Born in the birthplace of tequila, Estrella Jalisco is the golden Mexican Pilsner with roots in Jalisco, Mexico since 1910. The finest ingredients are always used to deliver a smooth and flavorful taste with a crisp finish that leaves you refreshed. We're proud to bring you this authentic and delicious Mexican beer, perfect for pairing with food and enjoying with friends. Estrella Jalisco, official cerveza partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Newsmakers Week with Bickley and Marotta Mornings.
Newsmakers Week rolls on this Friday, day 4 of Newsmakers Week 2025. Thanks again to Jerry Colangelo for joining us in studio for a couple of segments. We shift our focus to golf, the WM Phoenix Open. Again, a success. 2025 Chairman Matt Mooney is in studio with us to put a wrap on it. Matt, thanks for being here.
Yeah, great to be here. Thanks for having me.
You get to follow Jerry Colangelo.
Yeah, those are big shoes. I won't even try to fill.
Who's in charge of your schedule? Who pulled that off?
No doubt, yeah.
When we talked to you before the tournament, Matt, the charge was better, not bigger. I assume that, and you had great weather luck, but was that accomplished?
Yeah, we're really pleased. We feel like we hit the nail on the head. You know, we were confident in the changes that we made, that we were making the right tweaks, but we also wanted to be sure not to overcorrect. And now with kind of the week in the rearview mirror, we feel like we hit that sweet spot.
And what's really, really cool is, I mean, you got feedback immediately from myself and other people about how well this tournament went off. And then you got Jay Monahan at the Genesis.
Yeah.
Stop the introductory press conference just to tip his cap to you and the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, that
must have been cool.
That was really cool. Yeah, you know, because we felt confident about how the week had gone, but to hear it from the commissioner himself and have him mention us and how proud he was great validation.
Matt Mooney, the 2025 WM Phoenix Open chairman, our guest in studio for Newsmakers Week. What for you was one of the highlights in your time as the chairman?
Yeah, you know, I think you have to start with charity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we look back even at 2024 and people want to talk about the weather and some of the challenges that we had. But in the most important metric, it was the most successful tournament we've ever had because we raised $17.5 million for charity. And that's really the driving force behind what we do. And so that the opportunity, I think, to see the impact of this tournament the other 51 weeks a year is the most meaningful thing, but it was an interesting year to be in the seat. You know, we felt really confident, I think, the whole year that we were going to be able to make the right changes. And so seeing those play out and how well the course performed and how well the players liked it was great.
One of the stories that kind of came out right after the tournament had ended was how you guys basically fell on the sword the year before. That 2 days after last year's tournament ended, you and Chance, you got on a plane, you went to Riviera, you met with the Player Advisory Council, and you basically said, we're going to change, trust us. tell us about that. Go deep and tell me about that meeting and what did it look like? What did it sound like? How did you feel leaving it?
Yeah, it was interesting. We didn't know exactly what we were going to find, with the reaction from the players. I think the encouraging thing was that the players had lived through the same weather that we did. And so, whereas maybe some elements of the media didn't appreciate how bad the weather was, we got over there and the players understood. And their feedback to us was, look, you can make some tweaks on the margin, but we love this week. We want to be in that environment. We want to experience that energy that only exists at the Phoenix Open. And so don't overcorrect. And when we got to Riviera, one thing that was cool, we walked right up. Our first people that Chance and I saw were Jay Monahan and John Henry from Fenway Sports Group. And they said the same thing, we got you guys back and we believe in the Phoenix Open. And so make the changes that you feel like you need to make, but don't overcorrect. And so it was good to have that confidence, I think, coming out of those meetings to know that, we had good support, especially from the players. And obviously they showed that with the field this year.
And here's what's also interesting is, because you and I have had a lot of discussions about this, for all the consternation from some corners of the media, the PGA Tour really needed what you guys provide, and that is proof that golf is fun, proof that these tournaments can be just a great time for everybody, and that certainly came to fruition. And when you look at that, now we've got the point where Jay is talking about, and they went to the White House, and there's the reunification seems to be right there. Your thoughts on this? Maybe the sport turning a page for the better, starting with the WM Phoenix Open.
Yeah, we want to be at the leading edge of the game, and I think historically we have, and I think at a time when, to your point, golf has been going through a lot of changes. You see a lot of events, unfortunately, that have major attendance issues. They can't get enough people there to even have a break-even golf tournament. We're proud of what we have here. It's a testament to this community and the way the community supports it, and it's a testament to this Thunderbird organization since 1937 continuing to find ways to innovate. And so I think now with the week in the rearview mirror, we do feel like we're back on the leading edge of the game, and we're excited to take advantage of that position.
WM Phoenix Open Chairman Matt Mooney, our guest in studio for Newsmakers Week. When things go not according to plan like it did 2 years ago, and you guys make tweaks, you guys don't get to where you are as a tournament and a destination on the PGA Tour schedule without even reevaluating things when they go well. That being said, what are maybe some possible tweaks or improvements that have already been discussed for future tournaments?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you two things that I think we were confident going into the week that they would work well, but that probably worked even better than we hoped were the new entrants. It really changed traffic flows around the golf course. What meant a lot to me was I had a lot of people come up to me and say, I usually come to the tournament 1 day, maybe 2 days, but it's hard to get in and out. I came 4 days or 5 days this year. And so we're really proud of that efficiency that provided fans, but it also really changed traffic flows around the golf course, and it felt just a lot more open and spread out, which is what we wanted to accomplish. And then in addition to that, the player bridges that we built, it's a unique Phoenix Open story to build 1,100 feet of player bridges, but the players loved it. I mean, they were raving about that all week, but the fans loved it too, because historically, we create these pinch points when we have to put up gallery ropes. And so I think those two changes give us a lot more flexibility in how we look at improvements in future years.
And that, by the way, was a incredible idea by you, and that bridge is named after him now. It's the Players Moonwalk in honor of Matt Mooney.
I like it.
All right, so my last thing. So I saw a story recently that arrests were up this year, but that's by design, that you guys wanted to raise the standard of behavior that is expected out there. And I'll tell you this, from being out there every day, I saw a lot of underage kids getting busted. So you guys really were on top of everything this year. And it kind of speaks to what you told me earlier, that the criticism that happened last year, while a lot of it was heavy-handed, everybody involved in the tournament took it personally.
That's exactly right. Yeah, shout out to our partners at Scottsdale PD and Scottsdale Fire, City of Scottsdale. Well, I mean, we met with them every week over the last year, and I think that's exactly right. Everybody took it a little bit personally. We talked about our zero tolerance policy with the fan code of conduct, and can't say enough good things about Scottsdale PD and Fire and the way that they engaged with us on that. And I do think you really felt a different attitude out there on course. I think it was electric, but it was respectful, and that's exactly where we want it to be.
My last thing, Matt, is I know another Happy Gilmore movie is not coming out every year, but from my perspective, and I didn't make it out this year, but Shooter McGavin seemed to be everywhere and a huge hit.
Yeah.
You might want to think about bringing him back again.
I know. I think so, too. He seems like a perfect fit for the tournament, and his energy was so good. And so we'd love to have Shooter back.
Or maybe even get Happy himself.
Okay, so what about those
Agreed.
rumors that were going around Saturday morning about Adam Sandler maybe showing up? Was it actually something that was kind of percolating?
Yeah, there was some discussion, and unfortunately, logistically, they couldn't pull it off with the production crew to get him there. But, he's a name, again, kind of like Shooter, that feels like he'd be a perfect fit for the tournament. So we're not giving up on that one for next year.
Very cool.
Well, the morning run of the running of the bulls, if you will, the kids who want to get to 16, Shooter was there, and that is going to be in Happy Gilmore, too.
Yeah, that's right.
So they did shoot. There is some footage that's going to come out of that. All right, so you get to take a victory lap now. So and it's going to be up to your successor to take this to another level. How soon do those discussions start?
Yeah, they're already started. We actually had a couple meetings the last 2 weeks, really immediately after the tournament, preparing for 2026, assigning roles to different Thunderbirds and meeting with our partners in recap meetings. And so Jason Eisenberg's next man up, and he's off and running.
Very cool. Matt, congratulations on a very successful tournament, and thanks for coming in.
Thank you guys for the great support.
Matt Mooney, 2025 WM Phoenix Open chairman, our last guest of Newsmakers. Not only did you follow Jerry, you're the last guest to put a capper on it,
Clean
Matt.
up hitter.
Yes, the answer to a trivia question. Coming up next, Jared Carlin's going to give us the sports kebab. Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Suns up.
Spurs win it tonight in Austin, 120 to 109. The final score at Moody Center on the campus of the University of Texas. Suns have lost 4 straight now to fall 3 games below 500 at 26 and 29. They're now 10 and 18 on the road.
We talk about this Suns L today on Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, I hear Staples can print it all for my business. Oh, if you can think it, Staples can print it, and will beat any print quote. Oh, great. I'm thinking new brochures and yard signs? No problem. I'm thinking calendars, t-shirts, and pens. Totally. I'm thinking Staples is the place for printing. I thought you might think that.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Get ready for a Big 12 showdown Wednesday, February 26th at 7:30 p.m. when the Sun Devil men's basketball team takes on the BYU Cougars at Desert Financial Arena.
Here's Alston Mason on the dribble. Over to Adam Miller for 3. Bullseye!
Don't miss your chance to see the high-flying action. Get your Sun Devil men's basketball versus BYU tickets today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to sundeviltickets.com.
There's going to be a lot more games that tickets get to that price. So if you want to be a part of them, you better buy season tickets. You better do it right now. You better sell it out because we're going to have a lot more games where this thing wants to show up to. Buy your season tickets. Let's make that every single week of next year. Because why would you not want to be in that environment? That's one of the most fun places to be in college football. Why would you not want to do that every Saturday?
Get your Sun Devil football tickets today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to sundeviltickets.com.
February it does mean big President's Day savings all month long at the best place in the Valley. To get into a new Ford, of course, that is Earnhardt Ford in Chandler. Hey, it's Vince Murata, and Earnhardt Ford, that is where General Manager John Nissen and his entire team are rolling out huge discounts like on 2024 Ford F-150 STX and XLT models. They're available at a low 3.9% APR financing rate on approved credit for 60 months plus up to $7,000 total cash back towards your purchase. If you're looking for an EV option, look no further than the all-electric 2024 Ford Mustang Mach-E. Available at 0% APR. That's right, 0% APR for a full 72 months on approved credit, plus $2,500 in Ford bonus cash, and a Ford home charger and installation with 24/7 live support. All offers, again, do require approved credit. See dealer for full details. These offers end March 3rd, 2025, and they're going on now. Earnhardt Ford in Chandler, I-10 and Ray Road. Go visit the team in person or complete your entire buying process online at earnhardtford.com, and that ain't no bull.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Right now, somewhere in Arizona, somebody just paid way too much for a new AC unit. Don't let that be you. For the month of February, Precision Air and Plumbing will beat any apples-to-apples conventional quote from any licensed contractor, and we'll give you the #1 ranked installation in the state. Present us with any quote from 2025, and we'll beat it. But act fast. This deal won't last forever. Call us today at 602-FIX-MY-AC.
Precision decision with Precision Air.
I'm Fred Khalil with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. February has not been kind to the Phoenix Suns. After last night's game against the Spurs, they've lost 7 of 8. The Spurs beat them 120-109. Spurs star Victor Wembanyama is out for the season with a blood clot in his shoulder, but San Antonio's new guy, De'Aaron Fox, looked pretty good, had 26 points, and the Spurs win. The Suns play tomorrow in Chicago, Sunday in Toronto. Both games right here on Arizona Sports 98.7. Tomorrow's game tips off at 2 o'clock. Sunday in Toronto at 3 o'clock. The Four Nations face-off final lived up to hype as Team USA and Canada played an overtime thriller in Boston last night. Canada's Connor McDavid scored an OT to give the Canadians a 3-2 win. We won't have to wait long for more international play. The Winter Olympics in Italy are just under a year away from now. The Diamondbacks open Cactus League play this weekend with the first of 2 against the Rockies this afternoon. Both today and Saturday start at 1:10 at the Diamondbacks facility at the Salt River Fields at Talking Stick. One of the newest Diamondbacks, Corbin Burns, will be on the mound this afternoon. Tomorrow's game is going to be on ESPN 620, the first of 9 spring training broadcasts. This report is brought to you by Brooklyn Bedding. The President's Day sale has been extended. Get 30% off in-store and online through February 25th. Find a showroom today or go to brooklynbedding.com.
Time to take a look at the Arizona Sports Poll Question. Brought to you by Sanderson Ford. The best play is at Sanderson Ford.
Today's look at the Sanderson Ford Poll Question on ArizonaSports.com, presented by Y-Refi. Will the Suns have an all-star next year?
Oh, is that a loaded question?
Wow. Your choice is yes or no.
Wow.
I don't know how to
I don't know
vote
if
on
I'm
this.
ready. I don't know if I'm ready to wrap my head around that question yet.
Let's just gauge how the voting went, shall we?
Okay.
69% of our respondents say no. Whew. So does that mean
Devin Booker's a Piston or a Knick
does
or
that
a
mean
Rocket?
Kevin Durant's in San Antonio or Houston or Dallas? Some other team in Texas?
Yeah, right.
31% say yes, they will have an all-star next year. Wow. I wasn't quite prepared for that Sanderson Ford poll question.
That was a very good one.
You can vote on it now on the homepage at ArizonaSports.com, presented by Y-Refi.
Stand-up comedy is a social bonding mechanism that relieves tension and connects people. Laughter is a universal response, and there are 4 different ways we can gain laughter from an audience: surprise, relief, absurdity, and
The Sports Kebab.
It's all you, Jarrett.
Oh, man. Here we go.
Oh, man, here we go.
That's an interesting beginning.
That's
to
a
this.
loaded intro.
Oh, boy. It is. I'm loaded full of something right now. This is the Sports Kebab, guys.
Anything cut today, by the way?
What's that? Nothing cut. I kind of self-censored one of my jokes I felt was a little too biting.
Wow.
A little too biting. So, but I do have this stuff.
Okay. Good.
How's that for a setup?
A lot less tease on these jokes.
No, but you see, I'm a little thrown off to start here because this is a momentous day, a crazy day. There is breaking news that just happened per terms of the agreement and a government misstep following the championship loss last night. America will now officially be forced to be the 11th province of Canada.
Had no idea that was
that was on the table
line.
the whole time.
Wow.
Now, guys, don't fret, though. It's not so bad. Canada has some good things going for it. I mean, they have great comedians there. They have good food there. They have planes that will often both take off and land. Yeah. So that's an improvement. What the hell is going on with air travel, by the way? I mean, it is scary.
What is the deal with air
It's
travel?
scary. I know. It was something when you used to just be able to complain about the size of the peanuts that you would get. My goodness gracious. It is scary. I haven't seen jets crash and burn like this since New York gave too much power to Aaron Rodgers. Now, the irony of the Canada-USA matchup is there were more players in the game from Scottsdale than there were from Toronto. Isn't that weird? That's real. I mean, so the cool thing is that people from Arizona can go to Toronto and tell them what it's like to produce hockey players. Now, unfortunately, the not so cool thing is that people from Toronto can come to Arizona and tell them what it's actually like to win an NBA championship. Something's backwards there.
You're rolling hot today, Jarrett.
But it's, it sucked to lose the championship, especially since we played it in America, in Boston. I mean, imagine having to watch Canada win after you had to pay thousands of dollars to attend that game. Did you see the prices for that? I mean, going to that game, that was the worst decision in Boston since Tom Brady told Giselle, hey, look, the Y's offering jiu-jitsu lessons. Why don't you go check that out? But congrats to Team Canada. They won another hockey championship, and it was by their best player and in overtime. I mean, it was really a storybook ending. And have you guys ever seen any Canadian storybooks, by the way?
No.
Canadian storybooks. Oh, they're great. They're Goodnight Goon, for example. Tim Horton, Here's a Who. Did you
That's good.
see that one?
Mm-hmm.
The fantastic Mr. Michael J. Fox is one of them. Anne Murray of Green Gables is one of them. The Canadian storybooks is what I'm talking about. They have a great list. The Velva Poutine Rabbit. And, of course, green eggs and Canadian bacon.
Of course.
Now, there is, unfortunately, I hate to go to this. There's some sad news. LeVar Ball, did you see this story with him?
I did.
Yeah. He was forced to amputate his foot.
Well, I don't think he did it.
Well, no, he had to get his foot amputated, yeah. And but I knew those big baller brand shoes were bad, but I mean...
Good God.
No, come on. In all seriousness, so good luck and good thoughts to LeVar. I do wish him well. Nothing to joke about. Because one thing about him is he's smiling in all the pictures. He's a very positive guy. I actually think in retrospect we kind of owe him an apology for how hard we were on him a few years back. I mean, he just wanted his sons to succeed. As it turns out, Lonzo and LaMelo, both still in the league, both doing well. And they were both first-round picks. So he was kind of right. I mean, imagine if he was the type of guy who forced his son onto a team even if he wasn't a first-round pick.
Yeah.
Imagine the fiasco that would cause. What kind of unself-aware megalomaniac would do that? I don't know. LeBron James is back on the court this week, and yeah, LeBron returned to the Lakers this week, and they started playing again. But Luka was already being rested to help with his conditioning and his injury recovery. Now, unfortunately, this might be the truth about Luka in LA. I mean, on the court, he will be in and out, and off the court, he will be in and out. Speaking of players missing time, unfortunate news. Spurs phenom Victor Wembanyama will miss the rest of the season due to a blood clot in his shoulder. This is a crazy trend for San Antonio and their superstars. Think about this. They lost Victor Wembanyama in his prime in the middle of the season because of a blood clot. They lost David Robinson in the middle of the season in his prime because of a back injury. They lost Kawhi Leonard in the middle of the season in his prime because he just didn't feel like playing anymore, really. And speaking of basketball... No! Karnak to conclude here. A few... Oh, yes, it is Jarrett. Karnak the Magnificent. Ryan Dunn.
Ryan Dunn.
Ryan Dunn. How would you describe the Suns' thoughts on their rookie's time in the rotation? All right, I'll stick in there. A second apron.
A second apron,
yeah. What did Harrison Bucker get his wife for Valentine's Day? And finally, Jerry Colangelo, Luka Doncic, and me.
Jerry Colangelo, Luka Doncic, and Jared Carlin.
Wow.
Name a newsmaker, a new Laker, and a Jew baker. That's the sports kebab for today.
That's about as high quality as you've ever delivered.
Thank you.
I'm
And that
gonna
was
do something I've never
under
done
stress.
before.
Yeah. Standing ovation. That was
thank you very much.
fantastic.
It was a good way to end the
Andy
week.
Reid jokes, no Adam
Silver
Silver jokes.
Fresh
Well done.
material.
Fresh material. Great stuff on Canada. Tim Horton, here's a who.
Yes, I actually had an Adam Silver joke. I just didn't fit it in. Didn't wind up doing it.
That's okay.
Good. He said he was going to make sweeping changes to the All-Star game. Which it's easy to say you're going to make sweeping changes when you look like a broom handle. There you go. That's the sports.
Well done, Jarrett.
Thank
you. You exceeded expectations.
Well, it's good. We had such a busy day full of big name guests and stuff that a good way, light way to top it off.
Yes.
Good job.
You can follow Jarrett on Twitter/X at JarrettGC, JarrettGC, not Jared, Jarrett. And what is your handle on Blue Sky?
Jarrett GC as well. Jarrett GC on Blue Sky.
Wow, you
follow
got
him
them both, huh?
Yep. It wasn't taken.
Look at you. We will put the wraps on Newsmakers Week 2025. Coming up next on this Friday edition of Bickley and Murata Mornings, Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
The Cactus League is underway.
Out making some noise for the D-backs as that is swung on and grounded inside the third base line. Into the corner it goes. Newman scores. Herrera right behind him. And Perdomo brings in two on a two-run double.
Spring training coverage presented by Estrella Jalisco and Window Depot. The home of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here for Sweet James, and maybe you're wondering about that name. Sweet James, what is that all about? Well, his name is James Bergner. He's a world-class attorney, and our guy Petros Papadakis, Fox Sports analyst, former USC fullback, he just gave him the nickname because he couldn't believe a Bulldog attorney was so nice outside of the courtroom, and it just kind of stuck. But know this, Sweet James and his stable of attorneys, they'll be anything but sweet, anything but nice to your opposition if you're ever injured in an accident, primarily the insurance companies that do not want to pay you a nickel. Sweet James accident attorneys are elite in everything they do, but especially when it comes to litigating, their attorneys have extensive trial experience, which gives them incredible leverage when dealing with those insurance companies. And those insurance companies know they can't nickel and dime, they can't play games with Sweet James, and that is why Sweet James not only wins 98% of the time, they win big, they win the most, they consistently deliver some of the largest settlements in Arizona. They're the firm you want in your corner if you're ever hurt. The number, 1-800-9-MILLION. That's 1-800-900-0000, online at sweetjames.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Old Spice Swagger Body Wash will make you the MVP of freshness and confidence. With its irresistible scent, it will transform your shower experience, leaving you feeling fresh on and off the field. Pair it with Old Spice Swagger Deodorant, the #1 aluminum-free brand that keeps you feeling like a Super Bowl champion 24/7 when used daily. But don't wait. This dynamic duo is available at Costco for a limited time only. Old Spice, official deodorant partner of the NFL and Super Bowl 59, where freshness meets football greatness.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business, with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
Why do 80% of NFL players have a Sleep Number smart bed?
Matthew Stafford here with the LA Rams. Because when I get high-quality sleep, I make high-quality plays. But that's not the only reason.
Hi, me, Kelly Stafford. I'm the other reason. He likes his side firm and cool, and I like my side soft, warm, and cozy.
Sleep Number does that and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side, your Sleep Number setting.
You're the #1 reason, by the way.
And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com. Official sleep and wellness partner of the NFL.
Hey, it's Pat. The other day at work, they brought in pizza for lunch, so I swooped in and I grabbed 3 slices. The coworker next to me said, "Geez, Pat, you can't have it all." Then I corrected him and said, "Yeah, I can, and you can too, with a new 2025 Toyota truck. Power and performance, capability and reliability." Well, I must have convinced him because he grabbed the plate out of my hand and he said, "Good point, Pat."
Right now, get 1.99% financing for 72 months on a new 2025 Tundra SR or SR5. Or get 4.99% 60-month financing on a new 2025 Camry or Tacoma. Plus, check out great lease deals on any new Toyota. Visit your Valley Toyota dealer or valleytoyotadealers.com today. Toyota, let's go places. 1.99% with $14.75 per thousand borrowed for 72 months. 4.99% with $18.87 per thousand borrowed for 60 months. Zero down payment if you qualify. Offers end 3/3/25. See dealer for details.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Bickley and Murata. Song of the Day. Brought to you by Sonic. Live free, eat Sonic. Off the grid.
Brought to you by Sweet James Accident Attorneys. If you've been hurt in an accident, call Sweet James at 800-500-5200 or sweetjames.com.
All right, Newsmakers Week 2025 in the books. Covered a lot of ground over the last 4 days. Lots of ground today. Monty Ossenfort joined us in studio. Michael Bidwill. We talked to Brent Brennan. We talked to Matt Mooney. Jerry Colangelo joined us in studio. My biggest takeaway, yes, we already gave our impressions of what Michael Bidwill had to say on a number of topics.
Yeah.
Jerry Colangelo, I mean, I've been in this business for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he is so influential in this city, but to hear him, doesn't matter what sports topic you bring up when it comes to this city, he has involvement in it. It's amazing.
Well, yeah, listen, and he's also 100% authentic and real when he says he's always been a community-first kind of guy. That is a fact, and that's really what sets him apart.
Yeah.
85 years old, he's sharp, and he's passionate, could house a donut. That guy, man, God bless him. God bless him.
House a donut. There's no doubt about that. And I say this all the time. I said this to you guys off the air. I've said this in many other forums. Jerry Colangelo is a very, very, very powerful man.
Yes.
I've never met anybody with that much power be that generous with said power. Ever.
That's a great way to put it.
Great reflection of the man.
That is a very good way to put it.
It's true.
Yeah. We'll get to thank our list of guests coming up, but you hit on something earlier before we had Brent Brennan on. You asked the question about referencing Doug Haller's athletic piece on pregame warm-ups.
Yeah.
Look, I'm at the arena really early. I'm at the arena before the players are on most games, so I get to see most of these guys come out in their routines, and it is the saying, when successful players say you have to fall in love with the routine, you better, because your life is very routine at that point. If you don't like it, you're not going to be good. But I hadn't thought about the individual aspects of the routine, and you brought it up. Coming out with, headphones on, whether it's the AirPods or, whatever you're using to listen to music, does that isolate you from the rest of your team during warm-ups? Now, the way the Suns do it, I think most of those guys, most of the veterans come out with some sort of earphones in.
Yeah.
But they're only there 2 at a time.
Yeah.
And they work with their individual, cluster of coaches. So
But do they come out? When they go back to the locker room, do they come out? Kevin Durant said in that piece that he doesn't wear buds because he likes to feel the arena.
Yeah. It's also funny, too, because the Suns employ a DJ who comes in early to play music for the players as they warm up. That's not music for the fans. I mean, that's a player-driven playlist.
Yeah.
And then most of them come out with their own music anyway.
That's wild. That's
But do you
really
think it's
wild.
maybe it's weird to get ready for your job by listening to music? Wolf and Luke coming up next.
To me? Hey, that's like one of my setups. Maybe they're not even listening. Maybe they're listening to the Bickley and Murata Show podcast.
That is true.
It's very possible.
Which you should if you missed any of our guests this week during Newsmakers Week. Here they are. Tori Lavello, Mike Hazen, Graham Rossini, Derek Hall, Bobby Hurley, Latasha Causey, Bobby Dooley, Pamu Dakar, Kenny Dillingham, Nick Uren, Bryce Drew, Tommy Lloyd, Eric Moses, Willie Bloomquist, James Jones, Monty Ossenfort, Michael Bidwill, Jerry Colangelo, Brent Brennan, Matt Mooney, Jared, good job. Thanks to Aaron Maloney. Thanks to Fred Khalil. We're out. Wolf and Luke are up next. We leave you with this.
Prepare to be newsified.
The hour starts
with Jared Carlin.
Yay.
Pool Man Chew. Pool Man Chew. How would I quote the great Pool Man Chew?
I wish I was in studio with you eating some of Jared's bagels, but it's nice to see you nonetheless.
Hey, afterwards, can we get that Polaroid together? Sometimes charity really hurts. Hey, it's time for the Rush Hour reboot. Hey, it's time for the reboot today.
Oh, snap!
Do you see what you did to Vince Murata, son?
If he dies, he dies.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. Hey, don't look at me, okay? Fine.
Takes so long.
Oh, it takes so long. It's the manager's fault. It's the manager's fault.
Woohoo!
Newsmakers Week 2025.
Rebootski. Rebootski do.
You are banned for life.
No, he's rubbing, son, and rubbing is racing.
Living in America. Aw, beep, beep. Aw, reboot. Aw, beep, beep. Aw,
reboot.
The whole world's become jerkish if you haven't noticed.
TCB, why are you not breathing?
Never eat salad.
They say in hockey, Bick. Let's do that hockey.
Don't be a Rosen.
Thanks for the support, Bart Logan.
Makes me feel like quite a slug.
My mouth is full of fried chicken.
Always.
How did human beings become so horrible?
Here are the top 3 headlines on ArizonaSports.com, presented by Y-Refi. I'm Kevin Zimmerman. The Suns' inevitable fate keeps hovering over them in a loss to the Spurs. Spring training notes one last sleep before Diamondbacks baseball returns. And Cardinals coach Debo is bringing his match me mentality to Arizona. Those are the top 3 headlines on Arizona